Chapter 1601. If not for the fact that the Thunder Emperor had personally controlled the enchantment to prevent the shockwaves from erupting, no one would have been able to sit here. Chen Shang did not immediately turn into dust as everyone had imagined. He was actually able to resist the terrifying killing move of the heavenly slave. Let's see how long you can last. The impact of his fists that were like two gigantic black pillars struck Chen Shang, who was protected by the devil-suppressing chi array frantically, causing him to frown. Although he could temporarily block it, but if he could not retaliate, they would only be able to level up in the end, and the final victor would be Heavenly Dragon Race. This guy already has the strength of an Emperor-level master. I never would have thought that he would have such strength. Chen Shang gritted his teeth as he strengthened his devil-suppressing chi array. The opponent's fists that were charging over were getting stronger and stronger, and even Lei Yanjing was unable to sit still and control the barrier. He had to come to the fighting arena and control the barrier with the few elders. The spectators could only see that Chen Zhang's body was enveloped by a few circular array shields. Heavenly Slave, who was separated from Chen Shang, continuously waved both of his arms, and a fist smashed out, transforming into two thick pillars that carried some black chi. Hurry up and die for me. Heavenly Slave's forehead was full of veins, his face was filled with anger, as though he had already died. His two fists suddenly turned blood red, and a blood-colored mist came out, bringing with it a strong and evil chi, as it floated above the fighting stage. He was unable to take down Chen Shang in a short period of time, causing the Heavenly Slave to become extremely irritable. The pressure on Chen Shang right now was also not small. This guy has already gone crazy. The rhythm of his punches is very chaotic, the opportunity is about to come. Chen Shang carefully observed the fast fists that were charging towards him. In Heavenly Slave's realm of gods and devils, it was extremely difficult for Chen Shang to move. Even if he could move, Heavenly Slave would immediately notice. The Heavenly Slave was very far away from him, so it was hard for him to attack. Just break his Fi and God domain. Chen Shang took a deep breath. While blocking the attack, he also started to condense his power. At the same time, he observed the rhythm of the opponent's punches carefully, finding a chance to retaliate. The hourglass was already halfway out, and time was running out. Dog slave, take this. Chen Shang shouted in his heart, and everyone felt that in that moment, it was as if space itself was fluctuating. Chen Shang punched out with lightning speed, releasing thunderbolts. Everyone saw Chen Shang striking out his fist, but Chen Shang just stood there and punched. The fist wind seemed to penetrate through space. It suddenly appeared in front of Heavenly Slave. What was unbelievable was that after the fist energy shot out, it actually turned into a gigantic golden fist that was like a small mountain. The devil subduing method, combined with the devil suppressing fist, produced an incomparably tyrannical destructive force, which instantly defeated the devil aura released by the Heavenly Slave. The mountain-like devil suppressing fist brought along the berserk devil subduing method and smashed onto the Heavenly Slave's body, causing a huge hole to appear in the ground. After suffering such a heavy blow that the demonic god domain was destroyed, it was not that difficult for Chen Shang to use his spatial energy. This is going to be difficult. Chen Shang glanced at the hourglass. There was not much time left. Even though there was still half of the time left, it was not easy for him to exterminate the Heavenly Slave. However, the rules forbid the use of magical equipment or weapons. Although Heavenly Slave was heavily punched by Chen Shang, it did not deal much damage to him. At the same time, he had already jumped out of the deep ditch, and the moment he came out, he rushed towards Chen Shang. The Divine Demon Emperor was indeed an Emperor-level powerhouse, but he was always beaten into a sorry state by Chen Shang. Everyone couldn't help but be shocked at Chen Zhang's strength, but he actually wasn't killed instantly when facing off against a strong of Lord stage. This showed that he was very strong himself, and with the help of the devil-suppressing Kung Fu, he could tie with the Divine Demon Emperor. Chen Shang did not want to fight to a standstill. At this moment, he was not holding back and continued to use his god power, continuously using devil subduing method and devil suppressing fist, both combined, allowing him to gain the upper hand. At the very least, Heavenly Slave's fiendish demon fists were burned by Chen Zhang's flames, causing him to continuously roar in pain. If you want to beat him, then do as I say. An imposing voice suddenly appeared in Chen Zhang's mind. This was not a person he was familiar with. He anxiously followed the voice and left his consciousness to ask, "Who are you?" "LV Zhen," the voice replied. "LV Zhen, who is it?" Chen Shang asked. His random punch just now had hit Heavenly Slave in the face, causing him to be even angrier, but in close combat, Heavenly Slave was at a disadvantage, because Chen Zhang's body was wrapped up by the devil-suppressing Qi like armor, making it impossible for Heavenly Slave to break through the demon's power. The master of the holy devil-suppressing seal in your body, do you know who I am now? You don't have much time left, quickly do as I say, otherwise you won't have the chance to defeat this guy. LV Gen anxiously said. The owner of the holy devil-suppressing seal, wasn't it just the devil-suppressing Heavenly Venerable? Chen Shang was stunned for a moment, and then he didn't notice the Heavenly Slave's furious attack. He immediately released a black ball of light that flew to the side of the stage. Devil-suppressing Heavenly Venerable was also here. Chen Shang was surprised, he never thought that devil-suppressing Heavenly Venerable would also have the surname Lu. That was LV Kilian's father. If not for the tense situation, Chen Shang would have looked through the crowd to look for devil-suppressing Heavenly Venerable. Senior, what should I do? Chen Shang asked anxiously. In his heart, the devil-suppressing Heavenly Venerable held the same position as the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord. He had never seen the devil-suppressing Heavenly Venerable, but he received a large portion of the devil-suppressing Heavenly Venerable's inheritance. You can use the God Wind, right? When I pass down the chant, you turn the divine power into the God Wind, and the moment the God Wind condenses, you will activate the chant mental cultivation method I passed on to you, allowing you to unleash the evil-killing God Wind, which is a huge blow to the evil demon king. This is something I learned from the Devil-Killing Summit. Of course, there are also many other techniques, but these are all not things that I will be able to learn in a short period of time. LV Gen said. Senior, you went to the Devil-Killing Summit. Chen Shang suddenly jumped up from the ground, dodging a black ball of devilish fiend that fell from the sky. He circulated the divine power in his body and used the method in the God-Slain method, transforming a large amount of the divine power into God Wind. At this time, a mnemonic chant appeared in his mind. Having learned many divine arts, he soon knew how to operate it. Chapter 1602. After circulating that chant, Chen Zhang's eyes shone with a golden light, the divine power in his entire body swirled, and both of his hands continuously poured out the Devil Slayer God Wind that was like liquid. Although Bai Yaowei was a big devil, he was still a part of the Devil-Killing Summit and was extremely knowledgeable about the devil-slaying God Wind. He could tell that Chen Shang had not used enough devil-slaying God Wind, so he guessed that someone was secretly guiding Chen Shang, but he was actually not discovered by the God Realm Dragon Emperor. Chen Shang did not manage to control the condensed God Wind well enough, so he turned it into liquid and gushed it into his hands. At this time, the Heavenly Slave released another 2 black balls made from devil energy. As the 2 black balls flew towards Chen Shang withdrew his overflowing God Wind, but his palms still had very strong remnants of God Wind left. With a wave of his hands, he aimed at the 2 devil fiend black balls that could produce a violent explosion. Just a moment ago, they had seen that this black ball was extremely deadly. If it had not had a good defense, even if it was damaged, it might have been destroyed by the explosion, but with just 2 of Chen Zhang's palms, it was turned into black smoke. At this time, Chen Shang had already gained some experience in controlling the Devil Slayer God Wind. At that moment, he felt that his body was extremely light, and with just a thought, those strange and powerful devil-slaying God Wind immediately followed his will, and in an instant, he arrived at the side of the Heavenly Slave. Chen Shang suddenly came to his side. In shock and anger, Heavenly Slave threw a punch at him. Crack! Chen Shang unleashed the devil-subduing method with 9 echoes and 1 attack. In addition to the Devil Slayer God Wind, it made his punch extremely terrifying. In this extremely sturdy space, a large crack suddenly appeared, and the spatial tear spread to the entire sky. The spatial tear, which extended for several kilometers, covered the sky like a spider web, causing people to feel fear in their hearts, as if the world was about to split open. Such a terrifying fist met Heavenly Slave's black punch. Heavenly Slave's fist that was filled with the evil spirits was crushed by the force before it could even touch the God Wind, and his entire arm instantly turned into dust. Seeing that he did not touch Heavenly Slave's fist, Chen Shang immediately destroyed Heavenly Slave's entire arm. In his heart, Chen Shang felt even more admiration for the Devil Slayer God Wind, so he quickly changed the direction of his fist and aimed it towards Heavenly Slave's head. No one expected that in that extremely short period of time, Chen Shang would actually change the trajectory of his punches and incredibly hit Heavenly Slave's head. His fist struck Heavenly Slave's head, and it was as if an iron hammer had smashed onto a piece of charcoal. Heavenly Slave's head turned into a pile of black particles. Chen Shang was also shocked by the punch, but it had exhausted a large amount of his divine power. After Heavenly Slave's head was shattered, a mass of black chi surged out from his neck. This was Heavenly Slave's soul. It was actually black, and it turned into a huge black shadow that enveloped the entire stage. I want to devour your soul, soul-absorbing devil spell. Heavenly Slave laughed sinisterly as a black shadow slapped towards Chen Shang. Heavenly Slave's soul was exceptionally strong. After leaving his body, he turned into a group of black shadows that could be seen with the naked eye. Chen Shang sensed the enemy's soul leaving his body and immediately activated soul-absorbing devil spell, quickly consuming it and searching for the memories he needed. The Heavenly Slave actually knew the soul-absorbing devil spell. Everyone's face was filled with fear, as they hurriedly distanced themselves from the stage, worried that they would be affected by the soul-absorbing devil spell. Just when everyone was in a precarious situation, the Heavenly Slave actually started to howl for himself. You also understand soul-absorbing devil spell, ah. The black soul of the Heavenly Slave quickly became smaller following the scream, and finally disappeared. The Heavenly Slave's body also turned into a ball of black chi, and dissipated into the heaven and earth. There was still a little more sand left in the hourglass, but the Heavenly Slave was already dead, and Chen Shang had obtained victory in this battle. Before anyone could regain their senses, Chen Shang had already walked off the stage. Everyone felt that he was the real god and demon, controlling the extremely terrifying devil-suppressing Kung Fu, but they did not understand the long-lost devil arts that caused people to tremble in fear. Moreover, he was extremely proficient in it. Was not surprised at all that using the soul-absorbing devil spell to deal with souls was the best. He was just curious about who had suddenly taught Chen Shang the chants of the Devil Slayer God Wind. Chen Shang walked down the stage and scanned the crowd, searching for LV Gen. LV Gen's divine sense had already been withdrawn from his divine sense C, and he was no longer able to send a sound transmission to LV Gen. He really wanted to tell LV Gen that LV Kilian had been looking for him this entire time. However, he was sure that LV Gen was still nearby and had been watching the entire time. Chen Shang felt that devil-suppressing Heavenly Venerable's current strength must be the same as the other strong of Lord Stage S. Even Qi Shi was a little worried that the Dragon Emperor would discover the sound transmission, but LV Gen didn't. When devil-suppressing Heavenly Venerable went missing back then, his strength was already extremely strong. He went to a heaven realm, and then to Devil-Killing Summit. His strength must have increased greatly, so was even more curious about Devil-Killing Summit. Devil-suppressing Divine Palace wins. The old man announced the result. At this time, the disciples of Divine Devil Cult all ran away. The powerful Heavenly Slave was killed in such a short period of time, and that person's strength was definitely not someone they could deal with. Previously, everyone secretly looked down on Devil-suppressing Divine Palace because there were no Emperor-level experts in Devil-suppressing Divine Palace. However, now that the Great Yan Jing had been destroyed in such a short period of time, no one dared to look down on the Devil-suppressing Divine Palace anymore. The last time she and Chen Shang had cultivated the God's Join method, Chen Zhang's strength was still very weak. However, right now, he was comparable to those great emperors of the sky region who were seated around the table. The final battle was between Devil-suppressing Divine Palace and Heavenly Dragon Race. Just now, Qi Shi sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang, telling him to kill that sky dragon no matter what. But what Qi Shi was worried about was whether the Heavenly Dragon Race would admit defeat. The strength Chen Shang had displayed just now was too strong, and it was not something that the middle-aged man could endure. In the final match, if we don't decide who will win, then we'll compete from a new beginning to a new one. The old man shouted, "Please come up on stage. Your rules don't seem to have said before that no one is allowed to change, right? My Heavenly Dragon Race's people just now were a little unwell, so I helped them fight. This is permitted." Everyone immediately looked at the one who spoke. It was Dragon Emperor. The Dragon Emperor coming out for battle. What was there to be afraid of? This was too much bullying. Everyone scolded in their hearts. This was clearly because they saw how powerful Chen Shang was just now. If they had let that middle-aged man fight again, he would definitely have lost. The Dragon Emperor of the Heavenly Dragon Race, his strength was more powerful than the other great emperors in the eyes of many. After all, he was a dragon. Changing people does not violate the rules. The old man nodded as he secretly exclaimed in his heart. If the two emperor-level characters were fighting here, then he no longer needed this city. Chapter 1603. Although Chen Shang possessed strength that was on par with strong of Lord Stage, the heart of the Demon Emperor in Divine Devil Cult was too strong. Chen Shang used the devil-suppressing Kung Fu to suppress him, and with the strength of the Demon Emperor, he was probably at the bottom of the list amongst the strong of Lord Stage. If Dragon Emperor were to make his move, devil-suppressing Divine Palace would definitely lose. Chen Zhang's expression was currently heavy, but in his heart, he really wanted to exchange a few blows with this Dragon Emperor. Although he was an old man, no one dared to underestimate him. He walked towards the fighting stage at a leisurely pace. He felt that if he made a move, no one would be able to stop him. Chen Shang also walked over. He was actually still so calm at this moment. This kind of courage was truly admirable from the bottom of his heart, but just how many times was he going to go up on the stage? Wait. Hearing this, Chen Shang thought that LV Gen had sent a sound transmission to him, but that was not the case. This was called out by LV Gen, and everyone heard it. Furthermore, LV Gen appeared in front of everyone, and this was a handsome middle-aged man with a mustache that slightly curled upwards, and a hint of a smile hung on the corners of his mouth. When Chen Shang saw that face, he felt that LV Kilian was very much like him. This devil-suppressing heavenly venerable looked like a mischievous person. He was dressed in white, had a sword at his shoulder, stroked his beard and walked over with a smile. Seeing LV Gen, Bai Yaowei curled his lips. It could be seen that he recognized LV Gen, and their relationship seemed to be not bad. They were both from the Devil Killing Summit. "It's you, senior." Chen Shang immediately bowed to LV Gen. LV Gen walked to Chen Zhang's side and patted Chen Zhang's shoulder. "Sit, let me represent you. You have nothing to do with the devil-suppressing Divine Palace, so you can't go on stage." "Are you a member of the devil-suppressing Divine Palace?" the middle-aged man from the Heavenly Dragon race anxiously said, because LV Gen seemed to be disrespectful to the world, and did not even have a hint of strength, but Chen Shang called him senior, and was extremely courteous, so with one glance, it was obvious that he was stronger than Chen Shang, and might even be stronger than Chen Shang. Otherwise, Chen Shang would not be so respectful to him. "My name is LV Gen." LV Gen replied as he looked at the middle-aged man from the Heavenly Dragon race. "LV Gen, I've never heard of you," the middle-aged man said. Everyone shook their heads. No one had indeed never heard of him before. Only LV Kilian was shocked, and that was her father's name. She had been searching for her father for many years, and now he suddenly appeared in front of her. "The devil-suppressing Divine Palace was created by me. Tell me, is there a relationship between me and the devil-suppressing Divine Palace? Do I have the qualifications to participate?" LV Gen's voice turned cold, and an incomparably huge golden word, subduing light, suddenly appeared in the air. That kind of pressure, not only the people who cultivated the power of evil, even the other people felt uncomfortable about it. Chen Shang said in a cold voice, "He is the devil-suppressing heavenly venerable, the ancestor of my devil-suppressing Divine Palace. He does not have the qualifications, who does?" Now, everyone believed that the word, town, had already shaken the entire nine heavens many years ago. This devil-suppressing heavenly venerable who had suddenly disappeared, had actually appeared and become even more powerful. LV Gen threw the sword back to Chen Shang. "This is a divine sword, it's very hard to keep it inside the storage bag, help me watch it." With that said, LV Gen arrived at the stage. Chen Shang had been paying attention to LV Kilian this entire time, but when he saw LV Kilian's astonished expression, he hurriedly sent a sound transmission to her. "Sister Kilian, calm down. After this matter is over, you two can recognize each other again." When Dragon Emperor saw LV Gen coming out for battle, he was a little disturbed. He hated these strong humans the most. These dragons were born with strong power. If they were unable to defeat humans, then they would seem even more useless. "I never thought that in order to obtain a dragon vein, I would have you do it yourself. Is that dragon vein very important to you? But as far as I know, the dragon vein underneath that ancient god's tomb is even more powerful. It should have already become a holy stone, and there is even the possibility of condensing a holy crystal. Why don't you guys go there to dig out the dragon vein?" LV Gen smiled slightly. How could these strong of Lord Stage not know about the ancient god's tomb? But how could they not dare to go there? From what you're saying, it would seem that you do not want that dragon's vein. Could it be that you're going to be taken over by a little demon like that? Dragon Emperor sneered. "What's more, that place is called Dragon Subduing School. Don't tell me that you really want the dragon's vein. The number of holy stone you possess in the realm of flame heaven is no less than here. Don't tell me that you have another goal." LV Gen looked at the emperors from the sky region below the stage. Or perhaps, someone was the one who ordered you to start this war. The devil-killing summit was right beside the door to hell, and it was said that it was to suppress hell, and LV Gen suddenly jumped out to participate in this, to stop this battle. Chen Shang anxiously took out the pearl that the White Tiger had given him and sent a sound transmission to the White Tiger, telling the White Tiger to bring the White Tiger fighting race over quickly. If you want to fight, don't fight in my evil dragon graveyard, just fight here. Everyone is here anyway. Chen Shang felt that this battle would be hard to avoid, but there were actually so many strong of Lord Stage in the sky region. LV Gen and Dragon Emperor were still negotiating. LV Gen wanted to stop this big battle from erupting, because he knew that this was Hell Devil Emperor's scheme. Just as Dragon Emperor wanted to speak, the old man's voice rang out. Who knew that there would be a tiger's roar coming from the horizon? The new boss, Yan Jing, was very familiar with this roar. He could not forget this roar that made them feel like they were in a nightmare. It was the roar of the ancient god of slaughter. Now that he had been revived, the great emperors of the heavenly realm were all extremely shocked in their hearts. They had thought that the White Tiger had already died or had become a god, but now, it suddenly appeared. It was not only the White Tiger that came, but also the warriors from the 100 White Tiger fighting race. They crossed the space and appeared in the palace, standing behind everyone. So lively. He then walked towards the crowd and looked at the other sky region emperors. All of them were people he knew. I heard that the reason why you guys are fighting here is to choose a commander and then attack Dragon Subduing School, right? The White Tiger asked. The scene was silent. No one answered. That's right. When Chen Shang saw that there was no answer, he asked, what is your relationship with the Dragon Subduing School? I am the great clan elder of the Dragon Subduing School. White Tiger laughed. Since everyone is here, let's settle it here. All those who want to attack Dragon Subduing School stand up and let me see who it is, I'll kill him right here. Chapter 1604. Anyone who wanted to attack the Dragon Subduing School would stand up and kill him. Seeing him so murderous, no one dared to stand up, even the other strong of Lord Stage S did not dare to make an enemy out of this resurrected White Tiger. This was the master of the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord back then, reputed as the god of slaughter. Chen Shang was the leader, and this White Tiger was the great elder of the Dragon Subduing School. The great elder of the Dragon Subduing School was extremely famous, and no one expected Chen Shang to have this kind of relationship with the White Tiger so early on. Chen Shang intentionally sneered. If you want us to stand up, then stand up. Today, we are gathered here to discuss how to attack Dragon Subduing School. Other than the women of Ice Dragon race and hundreds of Flowers Palace, we are all here to attack Dragon Subduing School. Who do you think you are? Hearing Chen Zhang's words, the experts who were afraid of the White Tiger all felt the urge to slap him hard in the mouth. The White Tiger already knew that the person in front of it was Chen Shang, and it had also been cooperating very well with Chen Shang. It swept its gaze across the crowd and said coldly, then I'll give you one more chance. If you guys are really determined to attack Dragon Subduing School, just make a sound, we'll settle this here. In any case, you guys will run into me sooner or later. Zhang Sheng saw that the place was quiet, and laughed. Aren't there 5 great emperors of the heaven realm here? Why are you guys scared? It's just a big white tiger, what are you afraid of? Weren't you shouting so crazily before, hitting the evil dragon graveyard and splitting the dragon fountain? Why are you not even daring to fart now? Hearing Zhang Sheng's words, a few people in the sky region's great Yan Jing immediately looked over. It was yet another young mischievous brat who had the guts to mock and ridicule these sky region emperor. Although the few sky region emperors did not say anything, they were secretly exchanging views. Dragon Emperor and LV Gen, the 2 devil-suppressing heavenly Venerable S, were still fighting on the stage. I think we had a misunderstanding with the evil dragon graveyard previously, but now that the misunderstanding has been resolved, there is no longer a need for the final battle. Thunder Emperor stood up, looked at the White Tiger and spoke indifferently. The White Tiger sneered, tell me where the misunderstanding is. What misunderstanding? They're just a bunch of bullies. Seeing a strong guy suddenly appear, in order to avoid physical pain, they had no choice but to shrink back. Zhang Sheng mocked from the side. This group of fellows has always been like this. Thunder Emperor's expression turned cold. He looked at Zhang Sheng and said coldly, friend, you've slandered us time and time again. This is a form of provocation to us. Zhang Sheng was still smiling mischievously as he said, how can you guys be slandering me? I was shouting at the Dragon Subduing School to kill you guys fiercely, but now, my words are as soft as mud, I don't even dare to fart anymore. You bunch of new great emperors, just like yourself. In the 9 emperors and 5 venerables back then, there were 2 idiots who did not even care about their lives when they fought with 10 heaven's supreme lord. Who are you? Do you dare to fight? Thunder Emperor was infuriated. Clenching his fists, he released a thunderous aura that enveloped the entire arena as lightning flashed and thunder roared in the sky. Zhang Sheng laughed. You only dare to act arrogantly towards small fry like me, and declare war on the big white tiger over there if you dare. Dragon Emperor who was on the stage walked down the stage, looked at Zhang Sheng and said, You aren't a small fry, right? Who exactly are you? Seeing how serious Dragon Emperor was, the Thunder Emperor and the other great emperors of the realm knew that Zhang Sheng, who had always been fanning the flames, had some background. However, they could not see anything wrong with him. You ungrateful bastards, it's normal for you to not recognize him. Bai Yahweh who was sitting with Phoenix King suddenly said. Seeing that another person had used such a tone to speak, everyone knew that other than the 5 Sky Region Great Emperor and Devil-suppressing Heavenly Venerable, there were also experts of that period here. Zhang Sheng was one of them, and Bai Yahweh was another just now. It's you. Didn't you go to the God's realm? An old lady's wrinkled eyes suddenly opened, and looked at Zhang Sheng. She was the Ice Emperor of the Sacred Ice Realm. Currently, the other 4 Sky Region Emperors seemed to have already guessed Zhang Sheng's identity, and were actually together with the Ice Dragon clan. This made their hearts tremble, although Zhang Sheng always mocked himself that he was a lowly person in the 9 Emperors and 5 Venerables, no one had ever dared to underestimate his strength. The White Tiger coughed a few times and said, Do you still want to attack Dragon Subduing School? Give me a clear answer and I don't want to come here for nothing. Big White Cat, let's talk about this later. I need to get that guy to return some things. Zhang Sheng looked at Dragon Emperor. It's time to return that Supreme Dragon Blood, right? Hearing the Supreme Dragon Blood, the few Sky Region Emperor were all shocked. Looking at Dragon Emperor, they did not seem to know that there was such a thing as Supreme Dragon Blood in Dragon Emperor. Goodbye everyone. Dragon Emperor was on alert. He cupped his hands to everyone and turned into a gold light, flying towards the gigantic carriage. The other Sky Dragons seemed to have received their orders, and flew towards the carriage. Brat, do it, snatch the Supreme Dragon Blood back. Zhang Sheng quickly transmitted to Chen Shang, throw me the Divine Cauldron and Divine Hammer. Zhang Sheng rose into the air and chased after the fleeing Sky Dragons. Originally, it was a duel to gain the commanding authority, but now it turned out like this. This was completely unexpected to everyone. Chen Shang immediately threw out his Divine Hammer and Divine Cauldron, the black iron hammer spun around and automatically entered Zhang Sheng's hands. Zhang Sheng tightly gripped his Divine Hammer and roared loudly, causing the Divine Hammer to immediately flash with a white light and transform into a huge white hammer. Zhang Sheng held onto the end of the Divine Hammer. With a majestic aura, he swung the hammer that was as heavy as a mountain, smashing it towards the gigantic ranged horse that Dragon Emperor was riding. That huge caravan was much smaller than Godly Hammer. The Godly Hammer swept across and crashed into the chariot. Even the 2 huge dragons pulling the chariot were blasted into smithereens. The RV was shattered into golden fragments by a burst of golden light and tremors. This person was a divine craftsman. Someone suddenly cried out in alarm. At this moment, the Divine Cauldron had already become extremely large, enveloping the group of fleeing heavenly dragons. The Dragon Emperor roared, flying towards the gigantic divine furnace that was smashing down. A gigantic pole appeared in his hand, which he struck horizontally towards the divine furnace, sweeping it away. The Divine Cauldron and Divine Hammer were previously in Chen Zhang's hands, and the moment Chen Shang threw them out, everyone already knew that the Divine Palace Protectors was actually Chen Shang. Everyone thought that Chen Zhang's strength was at most at Immortal Becoming Realm, but now that he had not only completed the 9th cycle of the Sacred Transformation and had become a powerful Holy Immortal, his strength was even comparable to the strong of Lord Stage and could kill the Demon God Emperor. However, there were still a few people who could not believe that it was actually Chen Shang, who still knew how to use the Demon Extermination Palm and the Soul-Absorbing Devil spell. Seeing Chen Shang flying out and taking out the Green Dragon Demon Slaying Broadsword, everyone could not help but believe that it really was Chen Shang. Chapter 1605. Everyone understood that Chen Zhang's appearance here was to stir up trouble. They did not want such a huge battle to break out in the Evil Dragon Graveyard, so they settled the matter here. Right now, it was progressing differently from what Chen Shang had expected, but his objective had already been achieved. These Sky Region were no longer able to join forces with the great powers of the 9 Heaven World to attack the Evil Dragon Graveyard. The white tiger did not expect it to do this, and sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang. Do you need my help? Just as Chen Shang wanted to reply, he was pushed away by a wave of air, causing a golden light to shine out, making everyone unable to open their eyes. When they heard the terrifying dragon roar, they knew that the Dragon Emperor had turned into its original form, and that the entire world was trembling. With Zhang Sheng here, maybe 10 Heavens Supreme Lord Qi Shi was also there. The other sky region strong of Lord Stage S would definitely not get involved in this mess. Dragon Emperor only wanted to quickly leave this place. If Zhang Sheng, Qi Shi, and the White Tiger attacked him together, his vitality would be greatly damaged. After a flash of golden light, Dragon Emperor's huge dragon body just appeared and suddenly disappeared. He brought the group of sky dragons back to Heavenly Dragon Realm through space. This bastard actually ran away. Zhang Sheng held the small divine hammer in one hand and the small divine cauldron in the other. The other great emperors of the sky region wanted to leave, but were stopped by Qi Shi. Although Qi Shi did not reveal his identity, these 4 sky region emperors already knew that he was the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord. Where is the evil emperor? Qi Shi glared at the new evil emperor. He's in the heavenly evil realm, but he's been missing for 30,000 years. Although the resurrected Qi Shi was a lot weaker, he still did not have the courage to fight this emperor who had once dominated the 9 heavens dictum. You can leave now. In the future, you'd better be more honest. Don't think that you'll never die. Qi Shi coldly snorted. The space around Chen Shang suddenly fluctuated. Zhang Sheng anxiously shouted, "Brat, what are you doing? Why are you using such a powerful spatial force?" Zhang Sheng didn't even dare to go close. He knew that Chen Shang had a good grasp of spatial energy, but he never imagined that it would reach such a level. Even when Qi Shi was at his peak, he still didn't have such a terrifying control. You two go ahead and reminisce about old times. I want to make a trip to Heavenly Dragon Realm. A vast expanse of space appeared in the air. It was extremely terrifying, causing one to feel as though the space they were in would be torn to shreds under the pressure of the spatial energy. What are you going there for? You're not a match for that guy right now. Zhang Sheng anxiously shouted, "Quickly stop. I went there to look for someone." Chen Zhang's body gradually disappeared. He had already entered the spatial tunnel that he had opened, which was a passageway to the Heavenly Dragon Realm. He had sensed it based on the spatial ripples left behind by the Dragon Emperor. After fusing with the spatial rule spiritual bead, he was extremely sensitive to space. The stronger he was, the more familiar he would be with the laws of space and thus be able to break through some of the laws of space. That's the end. The White Tiger spoke a little gloomily as it watched Chen Shang disappear. If it doesn't end like this, could it be that you want to fight to the death and get rid of those fellows from the realm of the heavens? In the end, you still took advantage of the Hell Devil Emperor. LV Gen had been silently watching this scene the entire time. To be able to settle this matter peacefully and not let Hell Devil Emperor's plan succeed, this was the best victory. The White Tiger sighed. Then I better continue to hide. I don't want to be killed by Hell Devil Emperor the second time. When the White Tiger left, Qi Shi followed. Bai Yaowei quietly disappeared into the crowd, while LV Gen gave her a glance, as if sending her a sound transmission in secret. After that, he asked that Shu Tang to bring him back to the devil-suppressing divine palace. Zhang Sheng looked at the divine hammer and divine cauldron in his hands. He had originally wanted to return them to Chen Shang, but who knew that Chen Shang had left in such a hurry, so he could only keep them for now. Although the fierce battle that broke out in the Strong of Lord stage did not happen, those who experienced it today vaguely felt that the Great War of the Primordial Era would happen again very soon. Inside the Heavenly Dragon Realm, the only difference was that the Holy Spirit Qi was extremely dense, and all the beasts here had a bit of the bloodline of a dragon. Outside the wilderness, there were a lot of holy beasts, and Chen Shang could feel a few auras. Little rascal, we really have come to the Heavenly Dragon Realm. Huang Jintian sat on the ground with his bald head. I heard that the wilderness in this place is even scarier than the sacred grounds. The moment Chen Shang teleported, she caught him in mid-air and stored him in the serene jade ring. Only after arriving at the Heavenly Dragon Realm did she release him. Of course, I'm here to find someone. Before, I didn't really worry about them, but now they have no news at all. Chen Zhang's face turned serious. Huang Jintian asked, "Who are you looking for? You have friends here, why don't I know?" "A white dragon, and a draconian with white dragon vein." Chen Zhang's face was full of worry. "That draconian is Yulan, and as for that white dragon, it's very likely that she's that ancient heavenly dragon supreme lord." She's always been with me, giving me a lot of help. I heard that white dragon is female, so that white dragon that was with you is also female. When Huang Jintian thought about Leng Yulin's strange white hair, he immediately realized that Leng Yulin had changed a lot due to his white dragon vein. Chen Shang nodded her head. When I returned from the sacred domain with you, she left me and said that she wanted to take revenge. In the past, she went to Imperial Dragon Race, but now that Imperial Dragon Race has been tricked by the Heavenly Dragon, it seems very calm on the side of Heavenly Dragon Race, so I want to see if she is here. She said that she would find Yulin together with her. Right now, there is no news at all from those two stupid girls. I am very worried about them. Huang Jintian immediately pinched his fingers and activated Heaven Extended Method. His eyes kept blinking, and his entire body was trembling. They were currently in an ancient forest with towering trees, and there were no dangers in their surroundings. Chen Shang climbed up the tree, while being vigilant of his surroundings, waiting for Huang Jintian to figure out the result. After an hour, Huang Jintian was drenched in sweat and regained his normal look. Chen Shang anxiously jumped down from the big tree. Yulan is still alive, but I can't figure out where she is right now. As for the white dragon you mentioned, this is very difficult to calculate, without any clues. It is as if she doesn't exist, but is not a sign of death. Huang Jintian furrowed his brows, looked at Chen Shang, and started to count with his fingers. Strange, let me calculate for you. Your situation is exactly the same as that white dragon's. What exactly is going on? Before, I gave you a fortune-telling, but there has never been such a situation. Huang Jintian's face was full of suspicion. Chapter 1606. Chen Shang thought for a while, is it because I have the divine deity that you can't calculate it? What, you have divine deity? Huang Jintian was so surprised that she jumped. No wonder you suddenly became so powerful, so that's how it is. Looks like that white dragon is fine, and it also has divine deity. This kind of thing, she should really be a heavenly dragon supreme lord. That's impossible, her divine deity was borrowed by the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord. After the death of the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord, her divine deity accompanied his soul to hell and was suppressed by the Hell Devil Emperor. The 10 Heavens Supreme Lord also said that it's impossible for her divine deity to be taken back. Chen Shang sat on the ground and started thinking. This made Chen Shang feel a lot more at ease. He felt that it was also true, if Long Shui did not have the divine deity, it would be difficult for him to defeat that dragon emperor. Huang Jintian, who had originally been very worried about the dangers of this place, was extremely happy when he found out that Chen Shang had the divine deity. Let's stay here for a little longer and help me kill some saint beasts. You're already stronger than me, so you have to help Master increase his strength. Huang Jintian laughed. Anyway, your dragon subduing school is watched by so many old emperors, nothing will happen to you. Master, you should be hoping that I can refine a holy pellet as soon as possible. When that happens, you definitely won't be interested in any holy beasts. Chen Shang laughed. After knowing that Leng Yulin were alright, Chen Zhang's mood relaxed a lot. What's more, this is the heavenly dragon realm. What's the point in killing normal holy beasts? If you want to kill them, then kill those heavenly dragons. Chen Shang chuckled. Huang Jintian curled his lips. I don't want to be chased by the Dragon Emperor, this is his territory. When we don't have absolute power, by all means, do not come into conflict with the heavenly dragon race. The sky is about to turn dark. We can continue on our journey at daybreak. Chen Shang jumped onto the big tree, made a tree hole in the thick tree trunk, and then laid down comfortably inside, while Huang Jintian sat outside the tree hole. Master, when LV Gen came out of the Devil Killing Summit, it was LV Gen who secretly passed on the skills to me when I was dealing with the Demon Emperor. He allowed me to learn the Devil Slayer God Wind, so what kind of secrets are hiding inside the Devil Killing Summit? Chen Shang lied inside the tree cave and thought back to the Devil Killing Summit he saw. I only know that Devil Killing Summit was created by a god, and this god should be from inside the tomb. Although that guy made a tomb, he isn't really dead, he would come back alive once every few days, and obviously, his opponent is that Hell Devil Emperor. No wonder. Chen Shang suddenly felt that the devil-suppressing heavenly Venerable LV Gen should be related to the spirit inside the tomb, if not he would not have understood so many powerful devil-suppressing Kung Fus. Who did you learn those demonic arts from? There's no need to hide it from me, right? Huang Jintian said. As far as I know, only the Demon Emperor knows about those demon arts. Could it be that the Demon Emperor has resurrected and secretly imparted it to you? It was passed to me by a descendant of the ruthless devil Venerable. Chen Shang said. Isn't ruthless devil Venerable the guy who entered the nine-heaven devil palace and didn't come out? His descendants seem to be two women. Huang Jintian took out the ancient book that he had written about major events as he quickly flipped through the pages. Ruthless devil Venerable has two disciples. One is called Su Meiyao, the other is Bai Yuyu from the Mo Tian Bai's family. Su Meiyao's pill techniques are unparalleled, and he was able to master the Demon Emperor's unique skills. The two of them were both famous female experts at that time. Huang Jintian sighed. You little bastard, you actually obtained the inheritance of these two women so early. Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu's mother were Su Meiyao's leader, and his master was the reincarnated ruthless devil Venerable of the Demon Emperor. The two of them were both strong of Lord Stage, so Chen Shang wasn't worried about their enemies at the moment. Who was their enemy? They said it was hard to hide from that enemy. Chen Shang said. Their enemy should be a woman. Huang Jintian continued to read the ancient book, and said, their enemies are truly formidable. According to the ancient records of my undead race, the strongest enemy that chased them all those years ago should be the heavily injured Mei Emperor. Mei Emperor? What kind of emperor is this? There isn't such a fellow in 9 emperors and 5 venerables, right? Chen Shang asked anxiously. There isn't any in the 9 emperors and 5 venerables. The main thing is that this guy's reputation is too bad, because she is a very vicious woman. It is said that Divine Craftsman, Dan Emperor, Sword Emperor and the others were all deceived by her. Huang Jintian laughed sinisterly. The Charm Emperor is a very powerful woman. Back then she bewitched a lot of strong warriors. Even if they obtained her body, they would have to pay a heavy price. Chen Shang understood what Huang Jintian meant and could not believe it. Are you saying that the God Craftsman, Dan Emperor and the others all had that kind of relationship with this woman? It's so chaotic. I don't know about that, but you are very familiar with the Divine Craftsman. You can go back and ask him. Huang Jintian laughed. The Mei Emperor heard that he was injured. I don't know who he was, but it's very possible that he was the Demon Emperor or the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord. The Demon Emperor used to have too many women, so it's hard for the Mei Emperor to seduce him. Huang Jintian said. I think it's very likely that the Demon Emperor had injured her. That's why he chased after Bai Yuyu and Su Meiyao who possess the demon arts. Actually, the ruthless devil Venerable is the reincarnation of the Demon Emperor and also Bai Yuyu's father. His name is Bai Yaowei and he is the one who sat together with the Phoenix King. Chen Shang said. So that's how it is. I had thought that guy was not simple before. Huang Jintian suddenly came to a realization, and then, he opened the ancient book, and quickly recorded down some things on it. Chen Shang asked again, Master, does this ancient book have any information about ruthless devil Venerable's sister? The little sister in the imperial avian race's undead bird gave birth to a girl, who was ruthless devil Venerable's niece. Back then, in order to protect Su Meiyao and him, she disguised herself to kill them. Huang Jintian was startled for a moment, and said, I should hand over the record to you. Why do you know so many things? Chen Shang curled his lips. It's probably because of my woman's fate that isn't bad. That Yi Immortal Fairy is currently the Ji Meixian in the Hundreds of Flowers Palace, and the one who just joined the Hundreds of Flowers Palace, she was a spy that I arranged to stay in the White Sea Imperial Land. You brat, how many more things have you done secretly? Suddenly, Huang Jintian felt that Chen Shang had hidden many big things. Tell me some of the more important things so that I can record them down. I know that you also want to know more secrets, and I will use these to exchange for it. Don't leak it out for now. In the future, you can do whatever you want in a few 100,000 years. Chen Shang said. No problem, deal, Huang Jintian shouted happily. Chen Shang said. Help me look for the history of the Dongfang family. Beneath the Dongfang profound realm of the Dongfang family was a set of vermilion bird bones. Even now, I am still very curious about what happened. Chapter 1607. Huang Jintian flipped through the ancient book, searching for information related to the vermilion bird. So that's how it was. Back then, the white tiger went berserk, lost its mind, and killed the vermilion bird. And one of the big powers that the vermilion bird protected was the Dongfang family. That skeleton was left in the profound realm of the Dongfang family. If Chen Shang didn't mention it, Huang Jintian wouldn't have known that the vermilion bird was killed by the white tiger all those years ago. Huang Jintian was suddenly confused. Why would the white tiger lose its mind? The white tiger has also mentioned this before. It went berserk a few times and killed quite a few people, then committed suicide. Its disciple, 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord, also had a similar situation, but not that frequently. This is because they all had that killing God heart before Chen Shang told Huang Jintian all of these things. Killing God hearts are just divine deity. They actually didn't know about it at that time. Huang Jintian even found out that the origin of the heaven-earth killing method was from that killing God heart. After that, Chen Shang and Huang Jintian exchanged pointers, and found out about many things to satisfy their curiosity. Daybreak, Chen Shang asked Huang Jintian to calculate Leng Yulin's position for him. This was also the reason why he brought Huang Jintian here. This place is a bit big and a bit special, so it needs some time. After Huang Jintian finished speaking, he sat down cross-legged. This time, he did not pinch his fingers to calculate, but opened his arms to absorb the light from the sun, obtaining some strange power and borrowing the sun's power to sense a few things. Chen Shang patiently waited for more than 4 hours, before he finally came to a conclusion. It's a bit blurry, and it's too far away from here, but I can confirm that she's right here. Right now, I only know her location. If I go near her, I can figure out her exact location. Chen Shang said. Then lead the way, we will go over now. Long Shui had divine deity, so heaven extended method was useless against her, and could only be counted as Leng Yulin. This way, Huang Jintian pointed in a direction. Master, you can enter my storage magic treasure first. I'll use the spatial laws to reach my destination faster. Huang Jintian was very willing, because the ring wasn't as bad as the ring. It was very safe inside. Chen Shang took a deep breath. As he faced the direction Huang Jintian pointed out, he circulated the vast divine power, and the space around him started to fluctuate, as though it was a calm level that slightly fluctuated. Following this, his body slightly swayed as he fused into the fluctuating space. In the blink of an eye, Chen Shang had traversed a long distance and arrived at a scorching hot area. Looking in front of him, he could see volcanoes that were emitting hot air. There were a few of them which were relatively large in size, releasing red lava continuously, causing a large sea of lava to appear in front of him. Chen Shang released Huang Jintian, frowned and said, Master, if you continue calculating, see if I went in the wrong direction. How did I end up in this kind of damned place? Huang Jintian saw that there were volcanoes everywhere and the heat made him very uncomfortable. The Holy Spirit Qi here has been absorbed into the ground and turned into extremely hot lava. There must be a natural formation underneath it, which is why the environment here is so vile. People with strength like theirs could feel the heat, then if weaker people came here, they would definitely die from the heat. Suddenly, a slight tremor could be felt from the ground. In the distance, a massive volcano had erupted. Lava splashed in all directions along with a large amount of scorching hot rocks. Thick ash rose into the air, blotting out the sky. This volcano's eruption is really powerful. Just as Chen Shang finished speaking, a huge piece of extremely hot rock shot towards him. Chen Shang and Huang Jintian anxiously dodged, staying far away from the place where they were previously at. At the same time, the gigantic volcano was still erupting. The rocks that shot out were everywhere, wreaking havoc everywhere. The volcanoes here are too powerful. If that rock were to hit me, it would have taken half of my life. Huang Jintian was shocked. Let's quickly get out of this place and talk about this later. I keep having a feeling that there's something powerful beneath this volcano range. Chen Shang looked at the sky. In a short span of time, the entire sky was covered by thick volcanic ash, which flickered with purple lightning, and produced an extremely violent Holy Spirit Qi. And this Holy Spirit Qi would eventually be devoured by the earth. Chen Shang and the others could feel the oppressive Holy Spirit Qi rapidly descending, forming gusts of wind that was quickly being engulfed by the earth. Based on the current situation, the other volcanoes will erupt very soon. Huang Jintian suddenly had a very strong feeling. There seems to be something coming from below. We really did not come at the right time. Chen Shang had already activated the Heaven Tour method just now and his soul was flying extremely quickly, flying in all directions to investigate the situation. There are volcanoes all around here, and the area covered by these volcanoes is very wide. I wonder if this place is a forbidden area within the Heavenly Dragon realm. Just as he was about to put Huang Jintian into the ring, the ground started to shake more and more violently. The ground in front of him suddenly rose up, as if something was about to drill out of it. The damn thing is coming out. Huang Jintian was shocked. The protruding area where it had cracked opened, there were two thick and long fiery red things. They seemed like two beasts with sharp, large horns. Let's take a look at this first before we leave. Chen Shang was suddenly very curious. This heavenly dragon realm was not as strong as he had imagined him to be. If something were to appear in front of him now, it would seem that it was not any weaker than those heavenly dragons. Huang Jintian said, "Wait a moment, you have to run a bit faster. If you are stopped by this guy, I won't be able to greet him." The pair of fiery red horns was very long, and its top was covered in volcanic ash. The two horns seemed to pierce through volcanic ash, causing the volcanic ash in the air to churn. It was just two horns just now. Now, my entire body is about to come out. Huang Jintian shouted. He and Chen Shang floated far away from the protruding place, where a huge beast was about to come out from the ground. After getting far away from that place, Chen Shang and Huang Jintian could already see a large piece of land that had cracked open, releasing waves after waves of intense fire. It was indeed a very strong beast. The pressure was not any weaker than the Dragon Emperor that had turned into a dragon. We really came at the right time, to actually see the birth of such a huge beast. Chen Shang laughed. He had already started to circulate his divine power. As long as the situation was not good, he would immediately teleport and leave. Huang Jintian pinched his fingers, as if he was using the heaven extended method to calculate something. "Master, are you calculating the position of Yulin?" Chen Shang asked. "No, I'm counting this guy in front of me. This guy is the same as you, I can't even calculate the result. This is a divine beast with divine deity. What exactly is this thing?" Huang Jintian's forehead was filled with sweat, not because it was hot, but because the pressure was too strong. Chapter 1608. As the gigantic beast slowly came out from the ground, the might became stronger and stronger, causing Chen Shang to feel overwhelmed. Chen Shang and Huang Jintian were already outside of the volcano range, and that huge beast seemed to have a body as big as a volcano. "It's here." A series of violent tremors suddenly occurred. The earth in front of them that had thousands upon thousands of volcanoes erected, suddenly spewed out a large amount of rock soil. That huge beast actually jumped out from the ground. Those tens of thousands of volcanoes along with that large piece of land were all destroyed. The ground in front of Chen Shang and Huang Jintian was just like ocean water suddenly floating. It was just that there were mud rocks and a large amount of lava in front of them. When the gigantic beast jumped into the air, it let out a deafening roar, causing both Chen Shang and Huang Jintian to temporarily lose hearing. "This guy is too strong," Chen Shang shouted in shock. Both he and Huang Jintian could not see the gigantic beast at all, because a large amount of rock and soil and lava had fallen from the sky where they were at. "Why aren't you leaving yet?" Huang Jintian shouted. Chen Shang released his soul, and in the air, he saw a gigantic beast covered in fiery red scales, with two gigantic horns on its head. "This is a fire unicorn," Chen Shang shouted in shock. "This fire unicorn has actually condensed its divine deity." "What? The fire unicorn that has been missing for so many years is actually staying in this place?" Huang Jintian was also extremely shocked. "Ah!" Chen Shang suddenly cried out in pain. The soul he released was extinguished by the light rays that gushed out from the fire unicorn's body, causing his head to hurt. He transformed into a man in red. "That's all I saw." Chen Shang placed Huang Jintian inside the serene green dragon ring, and then released the condensed spatial energy he had released. The moment the space started to ripple, Chen Shang felt that the Qilin was forcing its way towards him. Fortunately, he was quick enough. He had instantly traversed the space and escaped from that dangerous place. After he was done, he still felt uneasy. He continued to travel a few more times, arriving beside a huge lake. Then, he leaned against a big tree by the lake while panting heavily. When he released Huang Jintian was also frightened quite a bit. "Master, do you have any records of this Qilin in your ancient book? This guy seems to be much stronger than the White Tiger and the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord. They should be holy beasts of the same generation, but this guy has condensed his divine deity, so he might become a divine beast in the future." Even though they were far away from that place, the fire unicorn that had just been born, that strong pressure had actually spread to this place as well. Huang Jintian took a few deep breaths, allowing himself to become much calmer. Then, he took out the ancient book, and started to look for the detailed records of the fire unicorn. "I didn't mention much, I only said that it was a powerful saint beast of the same era as the White Tiger, Black Tortoise, Green Dragon, and Vermilion Bird, but then it disappeared. Before 10 Heavens Supreme Lord could claim power, it was already lost, but later on an ancestor of our undead race seemed to have found some clues, and found out that the fire unicorn had once went to that god's tomb, and stayed there for a long time." Huang Jintian looked at the ancient book. Chen Shang said in surprise, "The god's tomb is indeed not simple. That fellow probably did not chase us. Although I do not know whether he is the brutal type or not, it is better to stay far away from him. In front of him, it is like an ant being pinched." Huang Jintian's heart still had lingering fear. Chen Shang nodded. "Forget about Yulin, hurry up and get them out of here. Ask them about the fire unicorn, they should know something about it." Chen Shang said. Huang Jintian was extremely curious about the fire unicorn. He was responsible for recording this secret onto the ancient books of their undead race. "I'll start now." Huang Jintian started to use the algorithm. Felt that the fire unicorn would not join hands with the heavenly dragon race in this place, otherwise, it would be too dangerous. Only in the right direction. The distance is too far, so when you ran, you didn't go in the right direction. Huang Jintian shook his head. "I can't travel through space this time. If I go directly in front of that guy, wouldn't I be courting death?" Chen Shang said. "Then I'll lead the way. I'll help you calculate every few steps," Huang Jintian said. Although Chen Shang wasn't as strong as the fire unicorn, he was enough to deal with some holy beasts. This heavenly dragon realm is not simple, to actually be able to cause a holy beast to develop their divine deity and become a divine beast. Who knows, maybe that white dragon was also able to develop its divine deity here. Huang Jintian suddenly said, "Heavenly dragon race has chosen this heaven realm, perhaps he has also taken a fancy to this point." "I don't know, let's find those two girls first." Chen Shang shook his head. When he came to this place, he did not attack the heavenly dragon race, but instead trained and produced divine deity. It was very possible that it was just as Huang Jintian said. Chen Shang only wanted to find Long Shui and Leng Yulin quickly, so even if he met saint beasts along the way, he would avoid them. If he couldn't avoid them, he would quickly kill them. They traveled through the night and only rested for 2 hours every day for a month. On the way, they even passed by the destroyed volcanoes. Now that they had seen the vastness of heavenly dragon realm, Huang Jintian still could not calculate where Leng Yulin was. 5 days had passed and Chen Shang was currently engaged in a huge battle with an ox-type holy beast. Since Huang Jintian had the time now, he decided to look for Leng Yulin's position at the side using the heaven extended method. Just as Chen Shang killed the holy beast, Huang Jintian shouted out in joy, "I found the exact location. I saw a large snow-white mountain, but that's not a snowy mountain, it should be easy to find. Not an iceberg, a white mountain." Chen Shang immediately activated his soul-absorbing devil spell on the holy beast he just killed. This holy beast had taken the initiative to provoke him. To be able to become a holy beast here, he must have been to many places here. Chen Shang quickly found him. That place is actually a dangerous place. The reason why the mountain is white is because there is a terrifying power hidden within the rocks. This saint beast doesn't know what power it is, but if we go near that place, we'll die easily. Chen Shang said. Then let's hurry over. With the exact location, you can use the space laws to go directly there. Huang Jintian said. Although that place was a dangerous place, Chen Shang was very strong. Huang Jintian entered the ring. Chen Shang used the holy beast's memories to determine the distance between the white mountains and this place. Then, he used the power of space to travel through them. Chapter 1609. Chen Shang had only just arrived outside of the group of white mountains. He did not expect these white mountains to be so mystical, to actually refract even more sunlight and become even hotter. He had just arrived outside of the group of white mountains, and was not prepared. He used Heaven Tour method and released tens of soul remembrance in hopes of finding Leng Yulin and Long Shui. Who knew that not long after he released these soul remembrance, it was extinguished by a wave of energy that came from the scorching energy refracted by Bai Shan, and had a lot of destructive power to spirit bodies. We'll try again tonight. The sunlight during the day was intense. At night, these white mountains did not reflect the strong sunlight, so it was not that hot here. He only released Huang Jintian after he made him prepare to resist the heat. Damn, this place is so hot. Huang Jintian started to complain the moment he came out. This heavenly dragon realm is much more sinister than that sacred domain. Previously, I encountered a divine beast, but now, I've encountered a damned place like this. Huang Jintian looked at the white mountain in front of him, then suddenly thought of something, and frowned. Brat, didn't you say that you have seen the devil-killing summit before? According to the ancient books, the most dangerous thing about the devil-killing summit is the white mountain, which is why it's extremely hot around the devil-killing summit. That's right, no wonder it looks so familiar. Chen Shang was shocked, he did not think that Bai Shan and the devil-killing summit were related. Huang Jintian frowned as he looked at the white mountains that were reflecting blinding white light in front of him. Devil-killing summit was created by a god, and there are so many mountains similar to devil-killing summit here, so there must be a connection between them. We'll go in at night to take a look, and devil-killing summit is easier to enter at night. Chen Shang said. Right now, we are very close to Yulin. If we calculate it again, we will see if we can find a clearer location. They were waiting for night, since they had nothing to do, so Huang Jintian sat down and used the heaven-extended method to search for Leng Yulin. If not for the fact that Huang Jintian had an endless lifespan, he would have probably died many times by using the heaven-extended method. Huang Jintian took out a piece of paper and drew some mountains that he saw. The mountains here were extremely strange. As long as Chen Shang could find the mountains that Huang Jintian drew, he would be able to find Leng Yulin and the others very quickly. The full moon hung high in the sky, emitting a soft silver glow. The white mountains illuminated the moonlight, causing a large part of the white mountain to be covered by the night sky, emitting a charming and gentle silver light. From afar, it gave off a very comfortable and beautiful feeling, as if it was only in one's dreams. The sunlight is pure yang, so it's extremely hot. This night's lunar entrance is more sinister, so I feel cold. Huang Jintian shivered, but it's still better to compare the prices at night, it's just that it's a little cold. The daytime is too uncomfortable, and the light is also dazzling. Chen Zhang's body was much stronger than Huang Jintian's. This kind of cold feeling made him feel very cool, and at this moment, he also felt comfortable inside the white mountain which was illuminated by this beautiful silver light. He then released a few dozen more soul remembrance and used the heaven tour method to search for the few mountains that Huang Jintian had drawn. He felt that there should not be any dangers inside, but when he entered during the day, he was illuminated by the scorching white light from all over the place. After a long period of time, no one would be able to endure it. Chen Shang and Huang Jintian entered the group of white mountains. There were no plants there, only a white color. After entering, a cold wind blew, whistling through the mountains, like the cries of evil spirits, causing people's hair to stand. It would be best if I could find it before daybreak. I can't take it if it's daybreak, Huang Jintian said. Chen Shang also wanted to find Leng Yulin and Long Shuiyi before dawn, but this group of white mountains was extremely vast. It was already dawn, so Huang Jintian hid himself inside the ring. Just as his soul remembrances were about to melt, one of the soul remembrances finally saw the other mountains. The mountains that Huang Jintian used the heaven-extended method to see meant that it was very possible that Leng Yulin was there. The sun rose up high in the sky, and the light burned bright. The strange white light reflected off of the mountain was terrifying, and it enveloped the entire mountain and sea, making it seem as if the entire place was covered with a white mist. Chen Shang felt that it was extremely hot at the moment and took out a piece of beast meat. How did Yulan and Shuiyi survive in this place? I feel that I will go crazy if I stay any longer. The heat released by these white lights not only made Chen Shang feel that his body was burning hot, it also made his soul feel like it was being roasted by fire. When he released the profound Wu diamond armor, it made him extremely comfortable, allowing him to rush about in a comfortable manner. The space within the group of White Mountain City was extremely chaotic. Chen Shang had previously tried to open a spatial tunnel, but he didn't shuttle through space because that would take him to a location other than his own. He ran wildly all the way until night, and finally saw those few mountains. Then, he used his heaven tour method to search for any remaining traces of qi left behind by Leng Yulin and the others. Very quickly, Chen Shang sensed Leng Yulin's aura, but it was no longer the icy cold aura, but instead a very strong dragon aura. Leng Yulin previously mainly trained in the cold energy, but after she obtained the white dragon's inheritance memories, she started to cultivate the strange power of the white dragon. The power of a white dragon could simulate all kinds of energy. It was very magical. According to the dragon aura, Chen Shang arrived at a canyon. As soon as he stepped into the canyon, he immediately sensed that there was danger approaching, so he anxiously dodged, only to see a graceful figure flying over. The figure was a beautiful lady with a face that Chen Shang was very familiar with, and that woman was Leng Yulin. Leng Yulin was still the same as before, his tyrannical aura did not decrease in the slightest. He wore a set of silvery white armor, and the gigantic sword in his hand emitted a heavy killing intent. Yulin, it's me, Chen Shang anxiously shouted. Bro, how did you become so amazing? Hearing Chen Zhang's voice, Leng Yulin shouted in surprise. She had thought that when powerful creatures entered the valley, those that did would usually have very strong attacks, which was why she had attacked so quickly. Not to mention Leng Yulan, who had not seen him for many years, even if it was Long Shuiyi, right now, it was likely that he would still not be able to recognize the person through the aura. Stupid girl, every time we meet, you will always be shouting about fighting and killing. Chen Shang flew over and hugged Leng Yulan tightly in his embrace. Chapter 16:10. The silver armor on Leng Yulan's body returned to her body and changed into a set of white dress. She felt that this would make Chen Shang more comfortable to hug. Yulan, you've changed a lot. Chen Shang stroked her black hair and laughed. I feel that you still have killing intent when your hair is white. Leng Yulan let out a few soft laughs, hugged Chen Shang then, and muttered in a tender voice, Big bro, I missed you a lot, it's so good to be able to meet you in this damned place. You know this is a hell of a place. I had a hard time getting here. Chen Shang pinched her beautiful face. Where's that little naughty dragon? Brother, Sister Shuiyi is my ancestor, you can't call her that. Leng Yulan pouted. This little naughty dragon is something I raised. I don't care what kind of heavenly dragon supreme lord she is. Chen Shang laughed. Don't be afraid of that little girl, she's always bragging about it. Leng Yulan stuck his tongue out at Chen Shang. Seems like she and Long Shuiyi got along pretty well. Chen Shang was a little worried that Leng Yulan would teach her naughty. Come with me, it will be very uncomfortable when the sun shines. Leng Yulan held Chen Zhang's hand and walked into the canyon. I'll tell you later about the matter of Shuiyi and I coming here. Before we came here, I heard that the great powers were going to launch a general assault on the evil dragon graveyard. Although Leng Yulan had awakened the inherited memories of the White Dragon clan, the momentum inside her bones hadn't changed. Chen Shang was so powerful now, she felt that Chen Shang had settled it. They didn't really fight, they just almost exploded into a super war. When that happens, forget about you, even I would have a hard time getting involved in that war. Chen Shang patted her head and laughed. However, if you follow that little naughty dragon, you might become a ranker of that level very quickly. Chen Shang followed Leng Yulan into a cave. There were many powerful formations and restrictions outside the cave. If not for Leng Yulan bringing him in, he probably wouldn't have discovered that the cave entrance was covered by some illusionary formation. These formations and bands were all completed by me alone. Leng Yulan laughed proudly. Awesome, I didn't expect a naughty kid like you to do such a delicate thing. Chen Shang lightly scratched her nose. Receiving Chen Zhang's praise, Leng Yulan seemed to be extremely happy. He couldn't help but kiss Chen Shang on the cheek, and then, he skipped a beat and pulled Chen Shang deep into the cave. In a bright stone room, there was a pleasant fragrance coming from it. The stone room's floor was covered in soft beast skin carpets, and like Leng Yulan, Chen Shang stepped forward barefooted towards Long Shuiyi, who was sitting in the middle. Long Shuiyi's body was wrapped in a thin layer of muslin, he sat cross-legged, and the snow-white skin on his body was faintly discernible, making Chen Shang unable to take a glance at his devilish body, although he was already very familiar with Long Shuiyi's body. This jade body that he had been cultivating God's join method with often made his mind wander. Brother, she's cultivating. When Leng Yulan saw Chen Zhang's perverted look, he lightly spat and pinched Chen Zhang's arm. When will she wake up? Chen Shang asked in a low voice. I don't know, but she said she had something important to wake her up, but it's hard to wake her up. Leng Yulan said, gently pushing Long Shuiyi's body, and lightly shouted, Sister Shuiyi, my brother is here. She shouted a few times, but Long Shuiyi did not respond. Yulan, did she tell you about me? Chen Shang sat on the soft carpet and pulled Leng Yulan into his arms. Then, he caressed her face and looked at her beautiful face. Leng Yulan looked up at Chen Shang, stuck his tongue out slightly, and laughed. I've mentioned it before, she said that you're her loyal subordinate and was specifically responsible for her diet. But it looks like it's not like what she said. The relationship between you two is even closer than I imagined. She can't be my sister-in-law, right? Quote. This little naughty dragon, my place in her heart is actually only in charge of food. Chen Shang allowed Leng Yulan to leave his embrace, came to Long Shuiyi's side, and stretched out his hands to rub her exquisite and beautiful face. He rubbed it, but Long Shuiyi still did not react. Looks like I'll have to use a ruthless move. Chen Shang snickered. Seeing Chen Zhang's mischievous smile, Leng Yulan was a little worried. Brother, don't be reckless. If she wakes up and knows, she might get angry. Yulan, what are you thinking about? Chen Shang said snappily, then took out a jade case. Long Shui's body was only covered with a thin white muslin, and the area between his chest and waist was just a few random coils of white muslin. If Chen Shang had thought about it, Leng Yulin himself did not know what to do. Chen Shang opened the jade box and saw a beating silver heart inside. This is the sacred heart fruit. This little naughty dragon loves to eat the fruits of this holy level the most. Chen Shang laughed as he placed the sacred heart fruit in front of Long Shui's nose. The smell of the holy fruit immediately entered Long Shui's nose, and he saw Long Shui's cute lower nose move slightly as she greedily took a whiff of the sacred heart fruit's fruit. Leng Yulin saw that Chen Shang used this method to make Long Shui move, and it was obvious that Chen Shang understood Long Shui very well, so when she saw Long Shui's cute and playful appearance, she could not help but chuckle. Long Shui sniffed a few times, and instinctively opened his mouth wide, wanting to bite down on the sacred heart fruit, but Chen Shang immediately switched to a very bitter and spicy fruit, causing Long Shui to take a big bite. Seeing Long Shui eating the bitter fruit she loathed the most, her beautiful face wrinkled like a flower, Chen Shang immediately laughed out loud. Pa pa pa. Long Shui had already woken up, his face bitter and bitter, he spat out the spicy fruit flesh in his mouth. Seeing Chen Shang laughing loudly, Long Shui bared her teeth and snorted, then pounced on Chen Shang, using her tender jade hands to pinch Chen Zhang's flesh with force. Little scoundrel I hate you. I could smell the holy fruit, but you made me eat that rotten fruit. I will crush you to death. Long Shui vigorously pinched the flesh of Chen Zhang's body, and started rolling and fighting with him on the blanket. Chen Shang also did not show any sign of weakness as his hands unrestrainedly walked up and down that jade-like body of Long Shui's, and pinched that extremely pleasant part of her body. Little scoundrel damned little scoundrel, you still want to eat my tofu? I'll cripple you. Long Shui used both of his hands to grip onto the two bumps on Chen Zhang's chest, causing him to scream in pain. When Leng Yulin saw his own brother and his own ancestor fighting like a shrew, he opened his mouth in shock, becoming speechless. Do you still want to eat sacred heart fruit? Chen Shang never thought that Long Shui's strength would be so strong, to actually be able to make him do it, although he had gained a lot of benefits. It's actually a sacred heart fruit. Quickly take it out, or else I won't let you go. Long Shui straddled on top of Chen Zhang's abdomen and pinched Chen Zhang's pecs. Chapter 16:11. Chen Shang did not take them out. Instead, he took out a Tiantian holy fruit. Long Shui snatched the Tiantian holy fruit and immediately began to wolf it down. It was as if he had been starved for tens of thousands of years. A saint fruit was easily taken care of by Long Shui, but she felt that it was not enough and looked at Chen Shang greedily. I don't have that much for now, but I've decided to focus on cultivating the alive slain method. You'll have something to eat then. Chen Shang used all his strength to pinch her face, but not for long before he slapped her away. Where did the divine deity on you come from? How did you get the sacred heart fruit, and how did you get here? Long Shui asked a series of questions. Leng Yulin came over to the two of them and sat down, hugging her knees. She quietly listened, too. My divine deity is the killing god heart. The sacred heart fruit was given to me by Zhang Shang. I used the power of the spatial laws to come here, and my master Huang Jintian helped me figure out the location of the Yulan. Chen Shang laughed. Little naughty dragon, I never thought that you would actually be a heavenly dragon supreme lord, you're really amazing. Long Shui originally wanted to ask Chen Shang a few more questions, but seeing that Chen Shang found out that she was from Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord, he suddenly said arrogantly, HMPH, now you know how powerful I am. Kind little scoundrel, if this dragon emperor didn't have any ambitions back then, and if it wasn't for the fact that Chi that giant lion was scolding the heavens, I stomped my feet on the ground, he would have already been scared out of his wits. Don't forget, you can have your day just because you want to eat and drink with me. Chen Shang curled his lips. It's your honor to serve this dragon emperor, not to mention the many benefits I've given you. Long Shui glared at Chen Shang, the hidden bitterness in her eyes suddenly became a bit tender. It could be seen that during the time she had left Chen Shang, she was very much in love with Chen Shang. Little scoundrel, you can't leave me in the future. Long Shui could not control his sudden rush of emotions and threw himself into Chen Zhang's embrace, hugging him tightly. I'm not used to it without you. Chen Shang laughed, caressed her back, and then looked at Leng Yulin and laughed. Leng Yulin was not as naive as she was in the past. No matter how naive she was, she could still tell what was going on between her and her brother, the white dragon ancestor. Then hurry up and give me a holy fruit, I'm really hungry. Long Shui said as she looked pitifully at Chen Shang. Not now, but after a while. Chen Shang kissed her forehead. HMPH. Long Shui grunted, and then asked what he wanted to ask. When you saw Zhang Sheng, he was the one who helped you fuse your divine deity. Shui, I just answered you 3 questions, now you should also answer mine first. Chen Shang said. Sure, ask away. Long Shui left Chen Zhang's embrace and went behind Leng Yulin to comb her long hair. Where did your divine deity come from, and why are you hiding here? Chen Shang asked. I thought you guys would attack Heavenly Dragon Race, but I never thought Heavenly Dragon Race would bring a large group of Sky Dragons to DTN. Leng Yulin and Long Shui both frowned. That dogshit Dragon Emperor actually went to DTN, he wants to attack Evil Dragon Graveyard. Leng Yulin asked anxiously. If the attack didn't succeed, they would have run away eventually. Let me tell you about this later. Chen Shang looked at Long Shui. He really wanted to know whether Long Shui was still going to pursue the divine deity that Qi borrowed. Long Shui said. That's not a divine deity, it's a supreme dragon blood of the Azure Dragon, Ice Dragon and I all have this thing, but it was stolen away by the Ice Dragon, and my supreme dragon blood only reacted when I came here. After the supreme dragon blood was formed, it was more or less the same as divine deity. Quote. My supreme dragon blood was awakened here, and then I successfully solidified it here. I plan to give a bit to Yulan so that she can have the supreme dragon blood seed. That way, it would be much easier for her to condense her divine deity in the future. Long Shui laughed. Yulan can now control the power of her white dragon, her hair can turn black. So that's how it is. No wonder you guys didn't make any move at all. Chen Shang looked at the 2 girls with gratitude. They were getting along really well, and there was nothing wrong right now. Shui, I already know that 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord borrowed your divine deity. Are you still going to pursue him? Chen Shang asked. This guy is already dead, how am I supposed to investigate? After Long Shui finished speaking, he suddenly thought of something. Wait, is he still alive? He's still alive, but your divine deity is already over. The reason he was able to revive is because of the remnant spirit he stored in the green dragon demon slaying broadsword many years ago. Chen Shang said. HMPH, this bastard actually lost my divine deity, I'll definitely investigate him. Long Shui gritted his teeth in anger, he stood up and shouted through gritted teeth. Come, take me to him, I want him to compensate me with divine deity. Chen Shang anxiously pulled her along. He is poor now and his strength is not what it was in the past. Other than his life, what else do you want him to compensate you with? That's right, this bastard is a scoundrel in the first place. To have this day, he truly deserves it. Back then, if I knew that he was courting death in hell, I wouldn't have lent him my divine deity. Long Shui was very angry. He was suppressed in hell for many years. Chen Shang said. That's great, I want to throw him to hell right now. Long Shui said angrily. He said he was going to compensate you with some of the fruit. Chen Shang said again. That's more like it. When Long Shui heard this, his anger dissipated by a lot. Afterwards, Chen Shang told him about Bai Yaowei and LV Zhen. Knowing that Bai Yuyu's master was still alive, Long Shui was happy for them, especially for Bai Yuyu, whose father was still alive. As expected of DTN, he actually gathered so many emperors in one go. She now knew many secrets. Flower Emperor's father really was the devil-suppressing Heavenly Venerable, and there was also the matter between the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord and Long Shui. Brother, Sister Shui, with your current strength, are you able to deal with Heavenly Dragon Race and help Sister Wei Shan's Ice Dragon Race snatch back the Supreme Dragon blood of the Ice Dragon? Leng Yulin asked. Although Long Shui liked to brag, she wasn't arrogant. She sighed. It's a little difficult, Heavenly Dragon Race's strength is not weak. This group of old fellows originally divided the Supreme Dragon blood between the Ice Dragon and helped them develop their divine deity. They probably worried about Qi, which was why Dragon Emperor fled far away. This is their base camp, and a few old dragons with divine deity are all here. It would be difficult for us to deal with them, so I plan to let Yulan have the Supreme Dragon blood first. Oh yeah, I met a fire unicorn here. Chen Shang told Long Shui how he and Huang Jintian saw the fire unicorn. Long Shui was also an ancient holy beast, he should know about the fire unicorn. Chapter 16:12. Having divine deity does not necessarily mean they are divine beasts. For example, those old Sky Dragon and Dragon Emperor who snatched away the Ice Dragon Supreme Dragon blood all have the same thing as the divine deity. I still have an entire supreme dragon blood and you also have the divine deity, but none of us can be considered gods. Long Shui said. But that fire unicorn is really powerful, I feel like that guy is much stronger than the Dragon Emperor. Chen Shang asked. Why is he here? Long Shui pondered for a while, then said, back then, this guy disappeared a long time ago. It seems like he was condensing his divine deity right now. Not only did he succeed, he also possessed the power to enter the god's realm. This heavenly dragon realm was originally called the Heavenly Beast Domain, but it was taken over by those dragons, so he changed his name. I think that my dragon soul was born here, and entered the 9 heaven world at the end. Long Shui said. So, it's best for beasts to come here to cultivate. The sky turned bright, and the cave became even brighter. There was no uncomfortable light that was reflected from inside, and it was actually very comfortable inside. These white mountains are very similar to the devil-killing summit. What exactly is going on? Chen Shang lied on the soft and comfortable beast skin carpet and praised in satisfaction as he looked at the white rocks on top of the stone room. Long Shui said, I'm not too sure either, but Yulin and I will still be here for the time being, until we help Yulin develop the white dragon's supreme dragon blood. Chen Shang laughed. I will stay here to accompany you all. Oh right, my master is still in the ring. Quote. Huang Jintian stayed very comfortably in the ring, and Chen Shang let him out. When Leng Yulin saw Huang Jintian, he respectfully saluted him, respected his elder's words very much. Little girl, your hair is turning black. That means you can already control the powerful white dragon's power. Huang Jintian chuckled, then looked towards Long Shui. You are that heavenly dragon supreme lord. Old man from the undead race, I have always been curious how long you have lived. Long Shui asked. Well, I'm not too sure either. Huang Jintian shook his head and laughed. From what I know, the undead race should be the earliest human. When I was wandering in the 9 heaven world, I only knew that there was one person left in the undead race, and he was much older than me. Long Shui looked at Huang Jintian. Even if undead race is heavily injured, he still won't die, and it's hard to erase his soul. At most, he will lose his memories and be reborn, and will never die. I heard that in order to prevent their memories from disappearing, the undead race had a type of thing that specifically preserved their memories, fusing with their souls. Chen Shang poked Huang Jintian. Master, that ancient book of yours should be that kind of thing. Huang Jintian curled his lips. I'm not too sure either, I just think that I've died a few times, and that it's probably the same as what you said. Master, I'm going to stay here for a while. If you want to go back, I'll send you back. Chen Shang said. Huang Jintian lowered his head and thought for a moment. I better not go back, it's not easy to come to this heavenly dragon realm, I want to stroll around here. Weren't you scared to death when you came here before? Why are you wandering around here now? Chen Shang looked at him contemptuously. How could I be scared to death? I'm not going to die, I'm going to die. Huang Jintian laughed and patted Chen Zhang's head. It's daytime now, right? I want to try and see just how powerful these white mountains are. This is for you. When you guys are about to leave, send me a message. He handed over a communication jade symbol paper to Chen Shang. Chen Shang and the other two sent Huang Jintian to the entrance of the cave and warned him repeatedly to not go near the territory of the heavenly dragon race or to look for the fire unicorn. The matters regarding the evil dragon graveyard had already been resolved, and the other great emperors of the heaven realm didn't dare to act rashly. Chen Shang now had the time to cultivate the alive slain method and condense spirit liquid that could help him replicate even faster. Long Shui was cultivating in that place just like before. She was separating a little bit of supreme dragon blood so it wouldn't affect her, but after fusing with Leng Yulin, it would be extremely useful to him. Leng Yulin, on the other hand, was on patrol outside the cave and occasionally trained. She was the same as Long Shui right now, she had become fond of eating those high-ranked immortal fruits. Shui, how was Dan Emperor's strength back then? Chen Shang was very curious about this, because the path of the Dan Emperor was his future path. Very strong. Otherwise, he wouldn't be the Dan Emperor's senior Dan. That guy was extremely rich back then, refining some high-level sacred pills in exchange for a large amount of precious items from our hands. Long Shui said. Forget about back then, even now, there are not many alchemists that can refine a holy pellet, so if you can, there will definitely be a place for you in the new great emperor in the future. Long Shui also hoped that Chen Zhang's pill refining skills would reach the standard of the Dan Emperor. At that time, she would be able to eat a lot of holy pills, but with her current strength, the immortal pills were only sugar beans to her. It would be fine to use them to satisfy her craving. But using them to increase her strength would have no effect. You trained in the alive slain method, but did those creation divine liquid improve? Long Shui asked. Your strength is already so strong now, you should have improved a little, right? No, not as good as LV Kilian. If I were to consult her and let her share of my cultivation experience, she might have a big breakthrough. Chen Shang sighed. No wonder Ten Heaven's Supreme Lord didn't practice this alive slain method much back then, it's so difficult. Oh right, did you take LV Kilian in as a female slave? Long Shui suddenly laughed lightly and looked outside the cave. Leng Yulin had already gone out to patrol. However, I did cultivate the God's Join method with her, and just after cultivating for a short period of time, she was able to suddenly soar in power. After a few months, she has already become extremely powerful. Chen Shang had an expression of disbelief. HMPH, I didn't think that you would be using the God's Join method with another woman. She might have been stuck in the divine way for a long time, unable to break through any bottlenecks, and just so happened to be able to help her pass through the God's Join method when you were cultivating with her, thus she advanced by leaps and bounds. Many experts in the later stages of the divine path are stuck in the divine way because they all have to walk the divine way in the end. Chen Shang suddenly laughed sinisterly. It's been a long time since we've trained with the God's Join method, now that we're all so strong, how about we give it a try? Sure. Long Shui was also very curious as he said excitedly, but you have to stay in that corner, we cannot get too close to each other, or else you will act recklessly, it would be bad if you were seen by Yu Lan. Chen Shang and Long Shui sat in separate corners, respectively. Then, they began the process of soul fusion, causing their bodies to be surrounded by a faint silver glow. The energy within the White Mountain was swiftly being absorbed by them. Chapter 16:13. When Leng Yulin came back from outside, and saw the two of them cultivating far away, she was unable to understand what was going on. She had rested here for more than an hour, and when she went out, she would sometimes hunt some holy beasts for Long Shui to eat. Chen Shang and Long Shui had cultivated the God's Join method for an entire day, and only after the effects had gradually weakened, did they finally stop, and then began their separate cultivation. Of course, the greatest benefit they had gained was the feeling of comfort and satisfaction in their minds. If Leng Yulin wasn't here, Chen Shang really wanted to try cultivating it. Chen Shang cultivated the alive slain method and meditated on it for 2 days. He did not make any progress. If he wanted to reach LV Kilian's level, it would definitely take many years, but he could not wait that long. Long Shui's cultivation just needed to sleep and eat, so she was not too familiar with this aspect. At most, she could point out a general direction and it would not be of much help to Chen Shang. Why, you look upset. Long Shui entered Chen Zhang's divine sense and saw Chen Zhang's soul frowning as he sat there. This alive slain method is too complicated, I feel that it is much harder to cultivate than any other killing techniques. Chen Zhang's soul opened his eyes, looked at the little world inside divine sense, and let out a long sigh. Long Shui's soul floated over and landed in his arms. Of course, the heaven-earth killing method you cultivated in the past, you have some experience with the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord, but this guy only knows how to fight all day. The alive slain method does not seem to be of much use to him, he does not cultivate much. Chen Shang lowered his head and kissed Long Shui's cherry lips, then rubbed Long Shui's stomach and asked, "Then how can I quickly grasp the alive slain method now? I really want to quickly feed you, this little naughty dragon's stomach." When the time came, she would be able to quickly replicate a large number of holy fruits. Thinking of all these, she licked her lips and swallowed her saliva. Go find LV Kilian, he is cultivating the God's Join method with her, it will be of great help to her, you can let her teach you the cultivation experience of the alive slain method. When the time comes, you just need to enter her divine sense and you will understand. Long Shui laughed sinisterly, this kind of thing happens a second time. Little naughty dragon, you're not jealous. Chen Shang lightly pinched her butt. I've already eaten enough, so I don't mind eating more. Long Shui scoffed. I'm going back now, and then I'll come back. Chen Shang also felt that finding LV Kilian would allow him to learn the alive slain method a little faster. Don't you know how to use the heaven tour method and the spatial laws to return? Even in the heaven realm, the highest realm of the heaven tour method is capable of allowing a soul to roam to the 9 heaven world. Long Shui said, as long as you can travel through space, you can use a wisp of your divine soul to find LV Kilian. Once you have a precise location, you can just bring the entire divine soul over. I've been wanting to try this method for a long time. It can save energy and is also very safe. Chen Shang chuckled, then closed his eyes and channeled his divine power to condense the power of the spatial laws. Through his perception of space, he opened a small hole, allowing his soul consciousness to travel to DTN. Chen Shang did not immediately go to DTN's Hundreds of Flowers Palace. Instead, he went there to look for Shui Shenxian and Lu Menger. The Ice Dragon race's defense was still strong enough that even a strand of Chen Zhang's soul could block it, preventing Chen Shang from entering that Ice Dragon villa. I can only use the old method. Chen Shang allowed that strand of his soul to drift outside the Ice Dragon villa, waiting for his acquaintances to come in and out. As domineering as ever, she wore a set of white ice armor, and held a white longsword in her hand. She looked very much like a Ice Dragon sword, which Chen Shang guessed was probably created by Zhongsheng himself. Since the return of those old ice dragons, Long Huishan had also received more than half of the ice dragon's inheritance. She had shared many of the ice dragon's inheritance, so the old ice dragons had always placed great importance on her. Big sis Long, Chen Zhang's soul flew over and whispered to Long Huishan. Bro. Long Huishan looked around, but did not see a trace of Chen Shang. Come out quickly, there's no need to be so sneaky now, you little rascal, don't tell me you're used to using this kind of sneaky methods. Didn't you go to the Heavenly Dragon Realm? Why did you come back? Chen Shang laughed. I am right in Heavenly Dragon Realm, and have just recovered from my trance, quickly take me in, I want to look for elder sister Menge'er and Shenxian. Then, you can enter my divine sense C. Long Huishan relaxed his mind and allowed Chen Shang to enter her divine sense C. After Long Huishan obtained the inheritance of the Ice Dragon, she started to cultivate her divine way. Her progress was extremely fast, and when Chen Shang saw that her divine sense C was covered in snow and ice, he knew that she had already reached a very profound level in her divine way and could condense the god wind. So cold, Chen Shang shouted, I only need to stroke my soul a little, it will freeze to death. At this time, he saw Long Huishan's divine soul floating over. She wore a light, long skirt, and flew slowly across the snow and ice, just like a goddess who had descended to the mortal world. She did not have the domineering aura of the female dragon king she used to have in the future. You can actually use the Heaven Tour method to return here from the realm of Flame Heaven. Long Huishan was a little surprised. Looks like your Heaven Tour method realm is very high. No, I only came here because I opened a spatial passageway. Chen Shang came over to his side and steadied his mind. He smiled. Big sister, you're so beautiful now. I really want to hug you. If you want to hug me, then bring your real body back. I'll give it to you at any time. Long Huishan laughed mischievously. You little scoundrel, could it be that you want to scheme against me? How could she not know about Chen Zhang's playfulness? However, she actually had a little bit of anticipation towards this, since she had a very good feeling about Chen Shang after all, and Chen Shang was also the man closest to her. Chen Shang giggled. He had already been embraced by Long Huishan, although it was just a touch, it was still a very real feeling. Long Huishan brought Chen Zhang's soul into the villa and arrived in a large mountain. Lu Menger and Shui Shenxian were currently master refiners of the Ice Dragon race. My Ice Dragon sword was created by them. Long Huishan was extremely satisfied with the imitation Ice Dragon sword in his hand. Other than the special Ice Dragon's power that had not been supplemented by the Ice Dragon, the other aspects were no different from the Ice Dragon's holy sword that was in Chen Zhang's hands. The few of them, Chen Shang was a little curious, aren't there only Menge'er and Shenxian? Chapter 16-14, There's also Warm Moon and Jing'er. Long Huishan's soul looked at Chen Shang with contempt. Jing'er is your recognized sister, as for Dongfang Xinyue it feels like she and you have an even closer relationship, but the two of you don't seem to be together. Oh she's my slave, she's with master-servant contract. Chen Shang laughed dryly. She did this on her own accord, and I have never treated her like a female slave. What about Lingling, how is she now? Chen Shang asked. Shen Lingling was his recognized sister, he had not seen her for a long time, and this made him feel ashamed. Now she's normal. The Immortal King's strength is the same as Jing'er's, both of them are refining pills. Don't worry, these two girls are your sisters and also my sisters. I will take good care of them. Long Huishan laughed and said, you are really amazing, to be able to find so many good little sisters, Yulan, Lingling, Jing'er and Chenxiang, they are all very obedient, so why can't I find them? Chen Shang laughed. Didn't you find me to be a good brother? With me, you don't have to worry about not having a sister anymore, and you are also a good sister. Little scoundrel, HMPH. Long Huishan snorted. At the moment she was already in the belly of the mountain, there was a large stone room in the center, with a gigantic cauldron placed in the middle. Isn't this a divine cauldron? Chen Shang remembered that he had given the divine cauldron to Zhang Shang. The stone room was empty, but a powerful heat was coming out from the divine furnace, as though it was being refined. Chen Shang had already gave the vermilion bird's skeleton to Zhang Shang, allowing him to refine the Suzaku divine weapon for him. Where are they? Chen Shang did not see anyone here. He should be bathing. Should I take you to see it? Long Huishan laughed. All right, hurry up, Chen Shang shouted excitedly. Good my ass, don't you dare go anywhere. Before they come out, your soul will stay here obediently. Long Huishan's soul had treated him like a dead man, not to mention that this strand of his soul was very weak. In the face of Long Huishan's powerful soul, he seemed very weak. Of course, if his powerful soul came over and entered Long Huishan's divine sense C, he could very possibly control Long Huishan's divine sense C. Where's the old Zhang? Wasn't he responsible for refining my Suzaku bow? Where did he go? Chen Shang did not see Zhang Shang. There was only the divine cauldron that he gave to Zhang Shang. Ask your little fairy, I'm not too sure either. He and 10 Heaven's Supreme Lord are often not here. Long Huishan said. A stone door opened, and the pure and charming Dongfang Jing and the cute and mischievous Shen Lingling walked out. The two of them were the same height, wearing the same clothes, and looked like two sisters, with a sweet and gentle smile on their faces. Although they were not young girls anymore, and their bodies released a mature aura, in Chen Zhang's eyes, they were still two innocent girls. Big sis, didn't you want to go out? Why are you here? Dongfang Jing asked. She was no longer as foolish as she was back then, and when Chen Shang thought back to her silly appearance, he couldn't help but smile. Your brother is here, Long Huishan said. Hearing that Chen Shang had arrived, Dongfang Jing and Shen Lingling were immediately overjoyed, and then looked around. Where's Big Brother? Why haven't we seen him? Dongfang Jing looked around the hall with anticipation and longing with her watery eyes. Shen Lingling was also the same. She did not see Chen Zhang's figure, but her watery eyes were filled with disappointment. Silly girl, he's only here because of his soul. You can't see him, but he can still chat with him, and his main body is still in Heavenly Dragon Realm. Long Huishan smiled and patted their heads. Where are Shenxian and the rest? They are resting inside. Brother, can you hear us? We missed you. She wanted to see Chen Shang very much. She already knew that Chen Shang had killed the Divine Devil Cult Lord and that her father had been killed by the disciples of the Divine Devil Cult at that time. I miss you guys a lot too. Wait a minute, I'll appear right now. When Chen Shang saw the two little girls, deep thoughts filled his mind. Long Huishan felt that Chen Zhang's soul had disappeared, and frowned. Why did he leave? What does he want to do? Inside Heavenly Dragon Realm, Chen Shang said to Long Shuiyi, I'm going back for a while. It's been a while since I saw those girls. If Yulan is back, tell her. Go quickly. It's also good to see them. Long Shuiyi nodded, and his soul left Chen Zhang's divine sense C. Chen Shang immediately channeled the power of the spatial laws. Just now, his soul had already went to the Ice Dragon Villa, and he could directly travel to that place right now. Shen Lingling and Dongfang Jing shouted lightly at Chen Shang. At this time, Shui Shenxian, Lu Menger and Dongfang Xinyue all came out, and after knowing that Chen Shang had returned and left, they immediately scolded. Since Chen Shang did not come to find them after returning from the Absolute Monarch Sanctuary, they had a lot of grudges against him. Lu Menger and Dongfang Xinyue were currently comforting Shen Lingling and Dongfang Jing. The mature and charming girls were seniors in the eyes of these two girls, and only the resentful Shui Shenxian was complaining non-stop. Suddenly, a strong spatial ripple appeared in the cave. Long Huishan hurried to the girls' side and released an ice shield to protect them. She was worried that something might happen. Space distorted crazily and a blurry figure fell out from the distorted space. Then, space regained its stability. Chen Shang gasped as he laid on the ground and shouted, it's really not easy to come back from the heaven realm. Big brother, Dongfang Jing and Shen Lingling shouted in pleasant surprise. They then moved to Chen Zhang's side like the wind, and supported Chen Shang up. Chen Shang opened his arms wide and helped them up as he laughed non-stop. Jing, Lingling, you guys are getting more and more beautiful. Chen Shang laughed and caressed their cheeks. Shui Shenxian hurriedly walked over and looked at Chen Shang with hidden bitterness. You still remember us? I thought you had lost your memories. How could that be? Even if I lose my memories, I won't forget you. You have already been branded in my soul. Chen Shang laughed very much as he hugged Shui Shenxian and kissed her cheeks. After all, Lu Meng'er was the elder of all the girls. Her expression was extremely virtuous and demure as she smiled slightly. It's good that you're back. You guys take your time, I still have things to do. Long Huishan waved his hand and walked out of the cave. Dongfang Xinyue's beautiful eyes carried a smile as she looked at Chen Shang with her silky eyes. Although she did not say anything, her eyes caused Chen Zhang's heart to tremble. It had been a long time since Chen Shang last saw this beautiful female slave. She was together with Hua Shangyu often. Chen Shang followed the few girls into a stone room, which was their small hall. The fragrance was pleasant and cozy. They had been refining here all year round, and this mountain had become their residence. Although it was simple, it was very comfortable. Chapter 16:15. Big brother, are you tired? Let me help you with your shoulders. Shen Lingling smiled and walked behind Chen Shang, gently patting his shoulders. She had been trained to serve others before, and although she was a free woman now, she was still very grateful to him. That was why she was always good to others when she came here, so Shui Shenxian and the others were treated very well by her. Don't be so gentle. Chen Shang did not want to reject Shen Lingling either, he was worried that he would make him unhappy. When Chen Shang came, the few girls originally wanted to serve him with some good things, but when Chen Shang sat down, they immediately brought out a bunch of immortal fruits, fruit juices, and tea made from immortal grades flowers. It was arranged all over the table. Shui Shenxian rudely grabbed a few of them and threw them over to Lu Meng'er and the others. How long will you be back? Lu Meng'er lightly chewed on the fruit, looking extremely elegant and beautiful as he ate. Dongfang Xinyue was the same, but like Leng Yulan, she wolfed down her food like a child. Chen Shang watched the girls eat with interest. To him, this was also a type of enjoyment. A few days, I still have something important to do. I found Yulan at Heavenly Dragon Realm, but she is cultivating on there and can't come back for the time being. Chen Shang said. When talking about Leng Yulan, Shui Shenxian had some very doubtful things to say. Shui Shenxian asked. The woman who brought Yulan away that day, said that she was a very high elder of the dragon subduing school. She is indeed very strong, and Yulan is also willing to follow her. I remember seeing her once before. Who is she? Quote. Alright, I don't have to hide it from you guys now. You should know a bit about the Yulan. Chen Shang said. Lu Meng'er and Shui Shenxian were the most clear of each other, because they had spent the most time with Yulan, and Dongfang Jing had also spent some time with Leng Yulan, but felt that Leng Yulan was a very powerful older sister who was very good to them, only that he was a little violent. He liked to find them to fight and train their combat abilities. It was possible that Dongfang Xinyue and her have master-servant contract, so she wasn't too concerned about these things. She only knew how to get along with her own master and mistress. Before she left, she told us that she possessed White Dragon Vein, and said that she trusted that woman greatly. The extremely intelligent Shui Shenxian was able to quickly guess a few things. She had already found out Long Shui's identity after receiving the secret assistance of the White Dragon. It's a white dragon, Lu Meng'er asked. Chen Shang nodded. Very impressive white dragon, named Long Shui. She knows a lot about me, so she knows you all very well. Quote. Shui Shenxian scoffed. No wonder she called out our names the moment she saw us, as if we were acquaintances. Didn't Bai Long have his enmity with the Imperial Dragon race? Could it be that they went to the Heavenly Dragon Realm to seek revenge? Lu Meng'er was suddenly worried. She had long known that she was hiding a woman inside Chen Zhang's body. She had secretly taught her the Vermilion Bird divine arts, and now she saw Long Shui as the woman who had passed down the techniques to her. Of course not, they just wanted to probe the strength of the Heavenly Dragon race, but they had gained a lot from it. Chen Shang did not want to talk too much about Leng Yulan and Long Shui. Their supreme dragon blood were extremely precious. Right, where's Senior Zhang? Chen Shang asked. He left a long time ago. He only gave us some pointers on how to refine the Suzaku bow and then left the divine cauldron here for us to discuss. Dongfang Jing said. She had already eaten 2 immortal fruits, and it was obvious that she liked the taste of the immortal fruit. Shui Shenxian laughed. The 4 symbols divine weapons will be gathered soon, I wonder what will happen then. Chen Shang shook his head. Actually there are 5 types of divine weapons and even Qilin divine weapons. I met a divine beast in heavenly dragon realm. If I want to find the materials, I can only think of this Qilin. Quote. We did indeed find a portion of the Qilin divine weapon blueprint in that book. As for the remaining parts, we still need to continue studying them. Dongfang Xinyue opened her mouth and said, her voice was still as gentle as ever. Bring out your green dragon demon slain broadsword for us to see. We want to copy it and practice using this method. Just right now, if we want to refine a Suzaku bow, we still need to improve in many ways. Lu Meng'er rested her chin on her hand, her beautiful eyes rippling as she looked at Chen Shang, looking very attractive. Chen Shang took out the green dragon demon slain broadsword and then pressed them on the table. This table is not strong enough, let's change it to another table. Dongfang Jing and Shen Lingling anxiously cleaned up the immortal fruit on the table and then moved the wooden table away. In place of a circular metal table, this table was a specially crafted forging table. Can you be a little bigger? Chen Shang didn't think that they were originally just chatting, who knew that in the end, they would develop into research on these divine weapons. Lu Meng'er controlled the forging table to become larger. Chen Shang placed the green dragon demon slain broadsword on top of it, then let the green dragon demon slain broadsword grow larger. This way, they could clearly see the spirit grain on top of it. Oh yeah, I still have 5-7 dragon swords with me. Chen Shang took out the holy dragon sword, fire dragon sword, azure dragon sword, thunder dragon sword, and ice dragon sword. This should be useful to you guys, right? Great. Dongfang Jing's eyes lit up as he lovingly played around with them. Dongfang Jing and Shen Lingling were also very excited. The two of them had already been pulled into the smithing list, and were extremely fond of smithing. Seeing these famous holy weapons, they would inevitably be excited, and even more so, this was their brother. Shui Yi should be able to help you find the white dragon sword. As for the Tianlong sword, it might be in the hands of the heavenly dragon race S. Dongfang Xinyue waved the green dragon sword, caressing the body of the sword. He felt the spirit grain above. Lu Meng'er looked at these holy dragon's swords and sighed with emotion. She never thought that Chen Shang would be able to get 5 of them by himself. So the Tianlong sword are hard to get. It was a little regretful on Lu Meng'er's face, but it was the same for the other girls. It could be seen that they all wanted to copy the 7 Dragons sword. That's not it. It's because Heavenly Dragon race is not a real Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord. The corners of Chen Zhang's mouth curled up as he smiled lightly. The real Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord is that white dragon. She should know the whereabouts of the Tianlong sword and the white dragon sword. When Long Shui first came to find Leng Yulin, he got to know a few girls very well. They all knew of Long Shui's name and had a good impression of him. It's really just as those ice dragon grandfathers said. In all of 9 emperors and 5 venerables, the only one who is a woman is the Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord. Dongfang Jing said. Chapter 16:16. Chen Shang immediately wanted to ask Long Shui about the whereabouts of the white dragon sword and Tianlong sword. However, he was currently looking at the few women chattering about how to imitate these holy swords, and he knew that these swords had some special properties that he couldn't see through before. Instead, they were able to learn quite a few things. In just a day's time, Lu Meng'er and the others had already analyzed the many difficulty in refining the Azure Dragon sword, drawing a relatively simple blueprint. What was next was to enrich the blueprint a little, then after completing it, they would go to collect the refining materials and then start to refine it. Analyzing this kind of complex sacred sword was a very tiring task. In their minds, they had to calculate a large number of spirit grain to coordinate with it. After going on for an entire day, they all felt very tired. Only now did they remember that Chen Shang was just beside them, and he even seemed to have fed them a lot of fruit. It was just that they were too serious, and ignored Chen Shang. Dongfang Jing and Shen Lingling had already returned to their room. They were sleeping together. Dongfang Xinyue glanced at Chen Shang with her charming eyes, and also returned to her own room. When Shui Shenxian and Lu Meng'er saw Chen Zhang's expression, they knew what Chen Shang wanted to do. Let's go together. Chen Shang laughed sinisterly. Although Shui Shenxian and Lu Meng'er were already his people, they had yet to sleep together with him. When he thought about being together with this pair of beautiful master and disciple, Chen Zhang's blood boiled. No, although Lu Meng'er and Shui Shenxian had been sleeping together the entire time and the two of them were extremely close to each other, the guide still felt a little shy. Didn't care about them at all. He opened his arms and forcefully carried them into the bathroom. Even though Shui Shenxian and Lu Meng'er were slightly unwilling, they had already known that such a thing would happen. Chen Shang hugged the two girls, and placed his hands on the soft spots on their bodies. He sighed in admiration. This pair of beautiful girls resisted for a long time inside the bath just now. Lu Meng'er's face was slightly flushed. She used to bathe together with Shui Shenxian and the other girls often, and had long gotten used to it. It's just that this time, there was another Chen Shang and his hands were very dishonest. I wonder how that last Shangyu is doing now. I heard that she and Qianchen are in Hundreds of Flowers Palace. Chen Shang chuckled. If little girl Shangyu was here too, that would be interesting. Little scoundrel. Lu Meng'er and Shui Shenxian snorted lightly, and at the same time, used their power to pinch the flesh on his body. The one in the bowl is still thinking about the one in the pot. Although she felt a little embarrassed at the moment, she was still very happy to be able to accompany Chen Shang. Chen Shang laughed sinisterly. I haven't eaten yet, elder sister Meng'er, are you in such a hurry for me to eat you? Shui Shenxian carried Chen Shang, her jade-like hands lightly patted the surface of the water and made a few splashes. Little scoundrel, after you finish eating us, I guarantee that you won't have the strength to eat other people. Chen Shang laughed out loud, then forcefully carried the two girls out of the bath and towards the large bed. At the same time, he released a warm wave of heat to dry off the water droplets on their bodies. Not long after, the shy moans and curses of the two girls echoed in the charming room with occasional moans. Chen Shang was very strong, and Shui Shenxian and Lu Meng'er didn't really know what to think of him before either. But after training with Chen Shang for a short period of time, they finally understood that Chen Shang was much stronger than they imagined. Chen Shang caressed the two women's cheeks. Looking at their beautiful faces, he couldn't help but sigh tenderly. Then, he kissed on their foreheads, put on some clothes, and got off the bed. Walking out of the room, Chen Shang saw Dongfang Xinyue sitting in the hall wearing a black night attire. When she saw Chen Shang, she made a shish gesture. What are you doing out here in the middle of the night? Dongfang Xinyue asked in a low voice. Isn't it because you're here? What are you doing here? Chen Shang chuckled. Big sister Warm Moon, we seem to rarely have this kind of chance to be together alone. When Dongfang Xinyue saw Chen Zhang's glowing face and the smell of Shui Shenxian's body, as well as an extremely ambiguous atmosphere, her face couldn't help but turn red. Of course she knew what Chen Shang and the beautiful master and disciple were doing. Scoundrel master, why are you not enjoying the two beauties inside? What are you planning on doing with me? Dongfang Xinyue spat out. In her hand was a stack of paper, which was filled with drawings of spirit grain S. Warm Moon, do you spend more time with Shang Yu? You are becoming more and more similar to her. Chen Shang carried her and sat on her chair, then placed her on his lap. I'm your female slave. I haven't served you for many years, so I'm very ashamed. I want to make it up to you. You won't blame me, right? Dongfang Xinyue's beautiful eyes were filled with seductiveness and she slightly squinted. Of course not, you just need to stay with Shenxian and the others, what's more, you're Jingjing's aunt, and she's my recognized sister. Chen Shang laughed as he touched her beautiful oval face. Then I'm your aunt too. Dongfang Xinyue chuckled, her delicate hands caressing Chen Zhang's handsome face. A sense of warmth and love suddenly welled up in her heart. Call me auntie. Dongfang Xinyue laughed. Auntie. Chen Shang chuckled. Good girl, my little master. Dongfang Xinyue laughed, then jumped away from Chen Zhang's embrace and placed the stack of papers on the table. Dongfang Xinyue unfurled the papers, and his expression became serious. I couldn't fall asleep, so I recalled the contents of the 5 swords in the 7 dragons' sword, and the spirit grain above were very similar to those in the divine book. I suspect that the refining method of the 7 dragons' sword was also from that divine book. Then why are you wearing these clothes? Chen Shang couldn't help but take a few more glances at her black, tight clothes. Dongfang Xinyue's figure was still quite attractive. Other than that, although there are only 5 7 dragons' sword, those spirit grain were able to combine together. After careful analysis, I managed to obtain an incomplete map. Dongfang Xinyue took out 3 pieces of paper and put them together. On them were many complex and complicated spirit grain S, but inside each piece of paper, there was a thick piece of paper that could be linked together with the thicker portions of other papers. Then how can you be sure that this is a map? Do you know where this place is? There isn't any indication of where it is. Why don't you find Meng'er and the others to discuss it? Chen Shang said. Earlier, you were enjoying yourselves, so I didn't want to disturb you. But now, let's go and have a look. I know which direction to go. That place isn't dangerous, it's just within the boundaries of a force. Dongfang Xinyue laughed. Chapter 16-17. Dongfang Xinyue took out a map. This was DTN's map. Chen Shang could immediately tell at a glance. Take a look at the routes on these 3 pieces of paper. They look very similar to the routes on the map. Dongfang Xinyue said somewhat excitedly. Chen Shang took a closer look and confirmed that they were indeed similar. Furthermore, they were all waterways, great rivers that had existed since a long time ago, so it had not changed even up till now. Although we are still short of 3, I believe that the final indication should be the source of this great river. Dongfang Xinyue placed her jade fingers on the map, on a desert. Chen Shang said, I have never been to this place before, but I have heard that it is very magical. It is the source of a large river, but it is very desolate. This place is now called the Sand Demon. There are a lot of sand monsters in the desert, but their overall strength is not that great, just that there are more of them and there are many sand cities built there. There are also a lot of humans inside. The source is the forbidden area of the Sand Demon. We have to infiltrate it and then enter into the source to investigate. Dongfang Xinyue said, I can complete it by myself, it would be best if you could accompany me there. Dongfang Xinyue really wished that Chen Shang could go with her, so he pouted his lips and shook Chen Zhang's arm. Will you be back before dawn? Chen Shang looked at the door to Lu Menger's room. Even if they don't come back, they won't be jealous. I'm your slave, so it's normal for me to be with you. They didn't mind for a long time. Dongfang Xinyue laughed with a deeper meaning. Alright, let's leave a message here first. Chen Shang took out a jade talisman and handed it over to Dongfang Xinyue, telling her to record what happened on it. If they didn't come back, Lu Menger and the others would know what happened. After Dongfang Xinyue finished, she made Chen Shang change his appearance, while she herself made a simple disguise to make herself look less conspicuous. I plan to accompany you for a few days, then go back to busy myself with other matters. It's best if you come back quickly. Chen Shang was pulled out of the cave by Dongfang Xinyue. Although you often don't come back to them, they can understand your situation. They won't blame you. Dongfang Xinyue took out a jade tablet, passed through many entrances to the enchantments, and arrived at a square that was filled with transmission arrays. This was the transmission array that the Ice Dragon Villa had built themselves. Through this transmission array, Dongfang Xinyue and Chen Shang arrived at the Sky Sand City inside the Sand Demon realm. Just as he arrived, Chen Shang frowned. Because there was a sandstorm, and sand was flying everywhere. In the darkness of the night, it seemed even more oppressive. This heavenly sand city is too simple and crude. There is actually no grand formation to protect the city, and the sandstorms are wreaking havoc everywhere. Chen Shang complained. Dongfang Xinyue seemed to be very familiar with this place, and quickly walked towards an inn with Chen Shang in tow. There were still a few hours until daybreak, and there weren't many inns that opened their doors that night. Although the environment here is very bad, there are a lot of genius treasures here, especially the high-quality materials for artifact forging. Even the materials for holy level S have appeared before. I often come here to buy materials. Dongfang Xinyue laughed. This sandstorm has a gap, it will stop very soon. You have all used up the refining materials that I had little Lizzie and my master bring you. Chen Shang asked. If you don't have it, I will think of a way to get some for you. It will be hard to come out all day to look for materials. It's no trouble at all. Collecting rare and precious materials is also a type of pleasure. Dongfang Xinyue stuck out his tongue coarsely. It's just that sometimes spars are a little lacking. Your smithing materials are quite high, so they're the most suitable to be used to make saint weapons. However, you don't need that many saint weapons right now, and refining them is also very tiring. You only refine them when you need them, so there's still a lot to be used. Dongfang Xinyue held Chen Zhang's arm and intimately sat inside the inn with Chen Shang, waiting for the sandstorm to pass. Chen Shang pinched her face and laughed. If only Shangyu was here too. Shuang Shang, Shuangyu, you two are such a perfect match. Perhaps it's because of that master-servant contract, but we've always wanted to follow you. Dongfang Xinyue leaned on Chen Shang and said gently. How about I untie it for you? Chen Shang said. Is the master-servant contract a hindrance to you guys? No, that's good. I think it's not wrong to have this mysterious connection with your soul. Dongfang Xinyue chuckled. I'm just different from the other women. As the sandstorm stopped, Dongfang Xinyue led Chen Shang out of the city and into the Sand Demon clan's territory. Looking from afar, they could see that there were many tall mountains ahead of them. It's been built over many years just like the termite mountain. It's very strong, and the tunnels inside also form many spirit grains, giving these sand mountains a natural defense, which is very magical. Last time when Munger and I entered these sand mountains, we learned a lot of things. Dongfang Xinyue said. Dongfang Xinyue and Lu Munger's relationship was very good, and they were as close as sisters. They had often studied the various spirit grain formations together, as well as artifact forging, the same way as Shui Shenxian. At the moment, Dongfang Xinyue had only turned into a saint not too long ago, and was not very strong, but her attainments in artifact forging was very high. Chen Shang held Dongfang Xinyue's soft jade hand, and released a divine power to investigate her body. After sensing it, Dongfang Xinyue frowned, but did not resist. "What are you looking at inside my body?" Dongfang Xinyue asked. "Nothing, I just feel that you and Jingjing shouldn't be so weak." Chen Shang said. The Dongfang family and the vermilion bird had a close relationship back then, so as the descendants of the Dongfang family, they shouldn't be so weak. Shui Shenxian and Lu Munger's current strength far exceeded theirs. The vermilion bird had been killed by the white tiger, but the white tiger had also died. However, the vermilion bird should have been reborn, and experts at its level should have been able to do so as well. That silly girl Jingjing is very innocent, and did not put in all her effort to cultivate. Her strength is not very strong, which is normal, but back then you and elder sister Menge'er were equally strong, but now you are lagging behind her by so much, that's why I feel that it's a little strange. You don't mind if I check your body, do you? Chen Shang said again. Dongfang Xinyue lowered his head, obviously considering whether to tell Chen Shang something. Chen Shang kissed her red lips and laughed. "If this is your secret, then you don't have to tell me." Dongfang Xinyue nodded his head. "You are my master, so I shouldn't have any secrets about you. I will tell you, when we return from this place, I think this place is related to me. Why don't we talk while we walk? Your Dongfang family has some relationship with the vermilion bird. I know that the white tiger went crazy and killed the vermilion bird. Now that the white tiger has been revived, the vermilion bird should be in the 9 heavens as well." Chen Shang said. "You know quite a lot," Dongfang Xinyue said softly. Then, he brought Chen Shang and walked within a few of the more hidden short mountains. They floated and avoided stepping on the sand to the best of his abilities, in order to avoid alerting the sand demon. Chen Shang followed behind Dongfang Xinyue and asked in a low voice, "Between you and Jingjing, there was the rebirth of a vermilion bird." Dongfang Xinyue laughed. "Of course not, if we are the reincarnation of a vermilion bird, we should be very strong. We only have the vermilion bird's bloodline, so our ancestors were highly regarded by the vermilion bird, thus the vermilion bird bestowed a vermilion bird blood pellet to our ancestors. In other words, you shouldn't have only this kind of strength." Chen Shang said. Dongfang Jing did not wholeheartedly pursue strength, but her strength was still incomparable to many others. Therefore, her talent was not bad. "What, do you despise me for being weak?" Dongfang Xinyue purposely revealed a resentful expression. "Of course not," Chen Shang laughed. As they spoke, they arrived at a huge mountain. The mountain was not high, but the area it covered was very wide. It was like a semicircle covering the ground, comparable to several huge cities. "This is the place where the defenses of the Sand Demon clan are the strictest," Dongfang Xinyue said. "I heard the sound of water flowing. The source of the river should be here." Chen Shang was also suddenly very curious. This was the source of that large river. It should be filled with the fragrance of birds and flowers, but it was filled with sand and rocks all day. It was not angry at all, it was so dry everywhere. Dongfang Xinyue and Chen Shang were hiding in a cave inside a small mountain. She suddenly shouted, "The sandstorm is coming." Just as Dongfang Xinyue finished speaking, he saw the outside of the cave turn blurry and blurry. The gigantic mountain in front of him was actually the source of the sandstorm. It was simply too strange. Countless sand sprayed out from inside, but why was it the source of a large river? "The sandstorm here is very strong, it's best not to get too close. I heard that this sand was spat out by the Sand Demon Emperor, and it's able to sense the source of the river." Dongfang Xinyue was so familiar with all this, it was obvious that he had done a very thorough investigation. "Warm Moon, take the chance to talk about the reason why you are here. I did not discover your Dantian in your body just now. You did not cultivate the divine way to merge your Dantian into the divine sense C, right?" Chen Shang asked. "Of course not, I was cultivating in the vermilion bird bloodline." I only changed my cultivation after I became a saint, and the ancient books of the clan mentioned it, so our Dantians have already fused with our bloodlines. Our cultivation method is rather strange, and at the beginning it was very slow, but once our bloodlines stabilized, our progress will increase by leaps and bounds. Dongfang Xinyue laughed complacently. At that time, I might be even more powerful than you. In truth, back then the vermilion bird's body was destroyed. Her soul is still here, and as someone who cultivates the divine way, you should know that without a physical body, there is no need for her soul to be reincarnated. And what about her now? Chen Shang asked curiously. I don't know. I think she should be in the sacred water heavenly realm. This is a memory inheritance that appeared continuously after Jingjing and I cultivated in the vermilion bird's bloodline. Dongfang Xinyue said. I feel that the source of this great river in front of us is very likely the entrance to the sacred water heavenly realm. Although the vermilion bird is a fire-attributed holy beast, she needs a lot of life energy. Chapter 16:18. Nine Heaven World was surrounded by the endless heavenly regions and he was just one of them. However, he did not have any thoughts towards Nine Heaven World, unlike the other 5 heavenly regions, where Great Yanjing had already sold his soul to him. Just based on this, you can determine that the vermilion bird Grand Master is inside. Chen Shang felt that it was a bit unreliable. Don't tell me we are going to enter the sacred water heavenly realm. I'll go in, you just need to help me enter. I'll take care of myself there. There's something wrong with my vermilion bird bloodline. Only the vermilion bird can help me. Dongfang Xinyue said. If I had come here myself, it would not be that easy for me to enter the sacred water heavenly realm from that source. Chen Shang said. How can that be? It's too dangerous for you to go alone. I'll accompany you. Dongfang Xinyue shook his head. No, accompany Munger and the rest. If they know that I took you away, they would scold me. No, how can I let you go to such a dangerous place by yourself? You haven't been to those heavenly realms, right? There are a lot of saint beasts inside. Chen Shang was very determined. How about we go back now and greet them? They will definitely agree. No need, I saved them very quickly. Rest assured. Dongfang Xinyue suddenly pouted. Master, please, let me go alone, please. Dongfang Xinyue hugged Chen Zhang's arm in a spoiled manner. Seeing her like this, Chen Shang sighed, drooped his head and hugged her tightly to his chest, picking up that sweet tongue of hers and twisting it around her. Seeing Chen Shang take the initiative to kiss her, Dongfang Xinyue's face was filled with joy, and he also took the initiative to kiss Chen Shang. She seemed to have waited a long time. The unrefined her seemed a little rougher. The sandstorm stopped and the two of their lips parted. Dongfang Xinyue's beautiful eyes were filled with gentleness and charm as she chuckled, Master, wait for me to come back. With Shangyu. Chen Zhang's heart skipped a beat. These two beautiful female slaves were too nice to him at the moment, and he couldn't take it anymore. Take these. Be careful when you get there. Chen Shang took out a jade bottle. This is a bottle of Biwan Dan, this is a jade dragon flower, and this jade tablet also contains a strand of my soul. If you encounter any danger, you can practice with me in time. Dongfang Xinyue's cheeks flushed red. She was a little excited. She never thought that Chen Shang would give her so many good things. If I don't need it, I'll return it to you. Dongfang Xinyue happily accepted these things. At this moment, she could feel the deep love Chen Shang had for her. Give me another kiss, we're leaving soon. Dongfang Xinyue squinted his eyes, and pouted slightly, making Chen Shang unable to let go of his words. He immediately moved his mouth closer to her. The two of them left the cave and walked towards the huge mountain in front of them. How are you going to get in? Chen Shang asked. Do you have any plans? Dongfang Xinyue said. Directly entering Mount Sha would cause no small amount of trouble, let's enter from the river. Let's go. Chen Shang pulled Dongfang Xinyue and took a step forward using his shrinking step. At the same time, he used his spatial footwork and arrived at a large river that was flowing very quickly. The great river surged forward in an overwhelming manner, and it was not easy to go against the current and enter the source. The current is very urgent. Dongfang Xinyue exclaimed as he looked at the waters of the river that continued to gush out from the gigantic mountain of sand. Don't be afraid, leave it to me. Chen Shang chuckled as he jumped into the river while hugging Dongfang Xinyue. After entering the water, he was not washed away by the river water because he had used the power of space to create a spatial barrier and isolate himself from the water currents. It was pitch black below him. Dongfang Xinyue held onto Chen Zhang's waist with one hand, and took out a nightlight pearl with the other, looking around. The amount of life force in this water isn't much. Could it be that it was all absorbed by the vermilion bird? Dongfang Xinyue frowned. This has been created by a dead desert, maybe the source has a strong suction force that is devouring the life force. Chen Shang also noticed this point. This water had just come out from the sacred water heavenly realm, its life force was very weak, there was not even a little bit of Holy Spirit chi in it, it was as if it had been filtered out. Let's go in. Chen Shang carried Dongfang Xinyue and walked a few steps in the water, quickly entering the desert. Although he couldn't see it, Chen Shang used his divine power to feel it. There was a bottomless black hole in front of him, and it wasn't the kind that went deep underground. It was the type with a large opening in space, where water gushed out from. Just as Dongfang Xinyue had guessed, the water in this large river came from another dimension. It had been like this for many years, where the majority of DTN's water came from. Let me in. Dongfang Xinyue wanted to struggle free from Chen Shang, but Chen Shang held onto her tightly. I'll bring you in, then I'll come out again. Previously, he said that Dongfang Xinyue would enter by himself, but after arriving here, seeing that the entrance was such a dangerous place, Chen Shang did not dare to allow Dongfang Xinyue to enter by himself. Chen Shang, who could control the power of space, was the safest and most convenient person to enter the heaven realm. He jumped into the entrance, and after traveling through space a few times, he arrived at a stretch of water. Is this the sacred water heavenly realm? Look over there. Dongfang Xinyue and Chen Shang were inside the same chi barrier, isolating the water outside. Chen Shang looked in the direction Dongfang Xinyue pointed. There was a gigantic black hole there, and a large amount of water was gushing towards it. We'll talk about it from here. Chen Shang felt a weak suction force. If he did not isolate space, perhaps they would have been sucked in long ago. After a few spatial jumps, Chen Shang and Dongfang Xinyue finally arrived at the shore. Here, they were on a small island with boundless water as far as the eye could see. It's just like what I imagined. There's water everywhere. I didn't expect there would be an island. Chen Shang sat on the shore and threw a rock far away. Auntie, you train in fire. In this sort of place, you are really dangerous. Chen Shang said. Quickly go back. I really can handle it. I'm thinking of ways to find the vermilion bird. I'll see if I can use my vermilion bird bloodline to detect her existence. Dongfang Xinyue sat on top of a rock with his eyes closed. Chen Shang walked over, kissed her lips, and said, then be careful. Got it. Dongfang Xinyue opened her eyes and pouted. Chen Shang sighed, and immediately teleported back to the Ice Dragon Villa. As long as he had been to the heaven realm before, he would subconsciously sense the space there. Next time, he wouldn't need to record down the location, he could teleport through the spatial teleportation. When they returned, the sky was already bright. The few women had already woken up and were looking at the messages Chen Shang and Dongfang Xinyue left them in the hall. Chapter 16-19. Lu Meng'er saw that Chen Shang had returned alone, and anxiously asked, "Where's Warm Moon, is she not with you?" Dongfang Jing was a little worried that he didn't see his aunt. Chen Shang told them everything that had happened from beginning to end, making Shui Shenxian and Lu Meng'er scold him. Just be at ease and leave her alone. Shui Shenxian scoffed, it's too dangerous. She's not very strong, and the heavenly realm is so scary. That's right, quickly go back and find her. If something happens, how are you going to explain it to Jing? Lu Meng'er patted Chen Zhang's shoulder. Chen Shang said with a helpless expression, she was the one who told me to come back. She said she was worried that you guys would say that she kidnapped me, and I also said that I wanted to stay there to accompany her. But she insisted that I come back. Chen Shang glanced at Dongfang Jing and noticed that his eyes seemed to flicker, as if he knew something. Jing, do you know something? Chen Shang asked. I can't say. Dongfang Jing was very simple, she was not very good at lying. Right now, she was hesitating and stuttering, and felt that it would be very difficult for her to hide what Chen Shang wanted to know. Seeing that Dongfang Jing's innocent face was filled with melancholy and difficulty, Chen Shang laughed and patted her head, don't say it, it's okay. Jing, can you tell us if she's safe there? Lu Meng'er and Dongfang Xinyue's relationship was very good, and from Long Huishan, she found out that the heaven realm was very terrifying, so she was very worried about Dongfang Xinyue. Auntie will be fine, don't worry, Dongfang Jing said. Yes, Warm Moon is not here. Now that your scoundrel brother is back, we will rest for a few days and not refine any equipment for the time being. Shui Shenxian laughed, and touched Dongfang Jing's face. She liked this little sister very much. Even though Shui Shenxian had said that, she and Lu Meng'er were still extremely busy. They were anxious to analyze the 5 holy swords and the spirit grain S on top of the green dragon demon slain broadsword, and they did not allow Shen Linglin to participate, nor did they allow them to gather with Chen Shang properly. They did not really care, as long as they knew that Chen Shang was alright over these past few years, it was enough for them to see him. Inside the Ice Dragon Villa, the mountain that Lu Meng'er and the others resided in was the center of the mountain where the artifact forging took place, and there was also a small villa on the mountain. Chen Shang, Dongfang Jing and the others were currently playing around on the mountain, and Chen Shang would occasionally brag about the stories between him and the great emperors. When he got tired of playing, Chen Shang gave some fruit juice to his 2 little sisters. At that moment, while they were resting and chatting inside a pavilion, they suddenly felt a strong sword chi approaching them. Just when Chen Shang was extremely vigilant, Dongfang Jing and Shen Lingling cheered, its little sister. The little girl that they were talking about was Mu Chenxiang. Mu Chenxiang was the youngest, their eldest sister was Long Huishan, their second sister was Leng Yulin, and third brother was Dongfang Jing. Mu Chenxiang received the Sword Emperor's inheritance, which was why he reacted now. "Brother, look at the sword." Hearing Mu Chenxiang's shout, Chen Shang reached out and then grabbed onto a soft jade hand. Mu Chenxiang had already arrived in front of him, stuck his tongue out and laughed. "If I had a sword, I would definitely be able to chop off a handful of your hair. Wild girl, you fought and killed as soon as you saw her. If you were with Yulin, I don't think you would be able to calm down during those few days." Chen Shang laughed and scolded, he pinched her jade face and pulled out a piece of meat. Mu Chenxiang looked pure and gentle, giving off a gentle and virtuous feeling. However, a mischievous glint frequently flashed in her eyes, and when she moved it rough, it was as if she was a crazed, wild girl. She was a gentle, inner-minded woman, but Leng Yulin was intrepid and domineering both internally and externally. Sister Shenxian and Sister Jun often fought, and sometimes from morning till night, Sister Shenxian and elder Sister Menge'er wouldn't be able to persuade them. In the end, only Sister Shenxian was able to stop them. Shen Lingling laughed. "Ling Ling, we haven't seen each other for a while. Come over for a few moves." Mu Chenxiang pinched Shen Lingling's small face, and said with a mischievous smile. Seeing Mu Chenxiang asking that, Shen Lingling anxiously hid behind Chen Shang. It seemed that these 2 little girls were often training partners with Leng Yulin and Mu Chenxiang. "Look for Big Brother is pretty amazing, we can't even exchange a few blows with you." Dongfang Jing laughed. Mu Chenxiang curled his lips. "Then forget it, I and my elder brother won't even be able to exchange a few blows, even my master admits that he's no match for me. But my master's father will definitely be able to beat him." Her master's father was the devil-suppressing heavenly Venerable, it would be strange if he couldn't defeat Chen Shang. "Little sister, why are you here? Didn't you say last time that you were prepared to participate in some large gathering to compete in swords?" Shen Lingling asked, and then took out the juice Chen Shang had given her, and handed it over to Mu Chenxiang. When Mu Chenxiang sat down, he grabbed a few fruits and stuffed them into his mouth. Only now did Chen Shang remember that Mu Chenxiang's appetite was the same as Long Shui's. Big Sis said that she had something important to do. She passed by the Hundreds of Flowers Palace and told me that Big Bro was here secretly, so I came over. As Mu Chenxiang spoke, he had already eliminated all the immortal fruits. Shen Lingling and Dongfang Jing were already used to it, they all secretly laughed, because they knew that Chen Shang needed to take out a lot of food to satisfy his appetite. "About that, I'm not interested in the sword competition, but Master insisted that I participate, and the old hall master also wants to see my sword art." Mu Chenxiang sighed helplessly. The old hall master said that the Sword Emperor might not appear again for 9 days, so the future Sword Emperor might very well be me. Dongfang Jing was pleasantly surprised. "So you're saying that I have a younger sister, the Sword Emperor? When I go out in the future, I don't need to be so worried about being bullied anymore." Mu Chenxiang laughed. "Right now, no one dares to bully you." Chen Shang asked. "The old hall master is currently in Hundreds of Flowers Palace." "No, he's in the devil-suppressing divine palace, he just comes here often to teach us how to cultivate the devil-suppressing method." Mu Chenxiang said. "Now that little Lizzie has already been taken in as his disciple, from today onwards, the devil-suppressing divine palace may be under little Lizzie's control, but my master will continue to build up her Hundreds of Flowers Palace." Chen Shang laughed. Little Lizzie is in charge of the devil-suppressing divine palace. When the time comes, I will go and mess with the divine palace protectors. I wonder if the devil-suppressing heavenly venerable will take back all the magic treasures I have on me. Mu Chenxiang scoffed. Brother, you aren't going to bully little Lizzie, are you, eh? She seems to have said that you often tease her. Quote. Dongfang Jing and Shen Lingling instantly looked at Chen Shang with strange eyes. Dongfang Jing laughed softly. Big brother is still so evil. Cough cough that's not teasing, I was just joking with her. Chen Shang coughed dryly a few times. He never thought that Dongfang Jing would still remember the meeting with him back then. Chapter 1620. Chen Shang was going to look for LV Kilian next, and it just so happened that he was able to learn a bit about LV Kilian's recent situation from him. He had just wanted to ask, but Mu Chenxiang asked Dongfang Jing, why did he say that Chen Shang was so bad? Chen Shang winked at Dongfang Jing, but Dongfang Jing didn't seem to understand, and told her about how Chen Shang peeked at her while she was bathing in the lake at night. At that time, he lied and said that she was a good person. Big bro really isn't a good person. Back then, when she was in that forbidden area, Chen Shang had only said that he only had one wife. But in the end, she discovered that there were quite a few girls who had an intimate relationship with Chen Shang, and there were even a few in the Hundreds of Flowers Palace that had a very good relationship with Chen Shang. Shen Lingling and Dongfang Jing laughed while covering their mouths. Chen Shang looked at the two of them unhappily. Chen Xiang, has your master been in closed-door cultivation recently? Chen Shang asked. No, but she's been rather busy recently. She said that she wants to nurture a large number of medicinal ingredients and that our Hundreds of Flowers Palace has two very outstanding female alchemists. Mu Chenxiang said. At this time, Shui Shenxian appeared out of nowhere, and said while laughing, the two female alchemists that you mentioned, are Qianqin and Sister Shangyu, right? Yeah, you guys are very familiar with each other. Mu Chenxiang knew that Shui Shenxian recognized them, but he seemed to be extremely familiar with them. Shui Shenxian glared at Chen Shang, and said, ask this little scoundrel, Sister Shangyu is his female slave, he is Sister Shangyu's junior master. Seeing Shui Shenxian's jealous face, Mu Chenxiang finally understood. Shenxian, weren't you with elder sister Meng'er? Why did you suddenly come over? Chen Shang anxiously laughed, wanting to change the topic. Shui Shenxian knew that he had a history of his own, he did not want his lofty image to be shattered in front of his little sisters. Shui Shenxian laughed tenderly. Elder sister Meng'er told me to come up and watch you, don't let me tell you to lie to my little sister, seems like I came in time. Chen Shang spread his hands and said, all right, I am a bad guy. Dongfang Jing laughed, could it be that it's not a little scoundrel? That's what big sister Shenxian calls you. Big brother scoundrel. Shen Lingling also chuckled. Scoundrel, no wonder sister Yulin often calls you that. Mu Chenxiang laughed. Shui Shenxian laughed. Alright, your scoundrel bro is still pretty good, at least I love you guys a lot. Even if he doesn't come back, he would always think of ways to give you guys food to eat. Mu Chenxiang was very much in favor of this point. As long as she was with Chen Shang, she would always be able to eat many delicious things. Brother, you asked about my master just now, and you're going to find her? Mu Chenxiang asked. No, I'm just asking. We had some conflicts before, but her dad came back this time. I was worried that she would cause trouble for me, so I wanted to find some time to talk to her. Chen Shang said. Chen Shang impersonating as the Hundreds of Flowers Heavenly Emperor and going against the Hundreds of Flowers Palace was something that everyone knew. However, Mu Chenxiang was very clear about the relationship between Chen Shang and LV Kilian, and in the past, it was indeed not that good. However, ever since LV Kilian and little Lizzie came back from the sacred region, their attitude towards Chen Shang had changed drastically. I'll go back and ask her. Mu Chenxiang said. No need, I don't plan to see her for the time being. She's very busy right now, isn't she? Chen Shang anxiously pulled Mu Chenxiang. Shui Shenxian seemed to be able to discern something. She did not expect Chen Shang and Flower Emperor to have some unknown relationship. Oh right, Shenxian, have you guys received any Holy Spirit rabbit blood recently? Chen Shang asked. Yeah, there is one every once in a while. Didn't you give it to me as a gift? Shui Shenxian looked at Dongfang Jing and Shen Lingling. Jing Jing and Lingling are also useful, you don't know. Strange, I also received it. I also thought that it was from my brother. Mu Chenxiang said. Chen Shang frowned. How often do you receive it? That Holy Spirit rabbit of his was given to Su Meiyao and her. They were still in the sacred grounds. Once a month, but we can't consume them all, so we gave some to Big Sis Long as well. Previously, she was only given 3 drops per month, but recently, she was given 10 drops per month. Shui Shenxian said, if it wasn't you who gave it to him, then who would have given it to him? 10 drops a month, this was not a small amount. A Holy Spirit rabbit could only produce 2 or 3 drops like this every month. Even if Yao Shumai and the others gave it to them secretly, and kept this amount every month, they only had 3 Holy Spirit rabbits to give to Shui Shenxian and the others. Chen Shang said, since my Holy Spirit rabbit was given to others, the ones who should be giving the God Holy Spirit rabbit blood to you all should be Mu Jialan and the other 2. If my guess is not wrong, the Holy Spirit rabbit in their hands must have multiplied a lot. Had Long heard of this matter. She did not expect that the person who had gifted them with rabbit blood in the past few years would actually be Mu Jialan and the rest. They had always been wanted, and had only returned from the Demon Sky City after joining the Hundreds of Flowers Palace during this period of time. No wonder Master insisted on developing the Hundreds of Flowers Palace and gave up on inheriting it. If Jia Lan and the other 2 really have a large number of Holy Spirit rabbit, it would be of great help to our sisters in the Hundreds of Flowers Palace. If this continues, our bodies will become more and more powerful. Mu Chenxiang said, no wonder Master treats the 3 of them so well. Elder Sister Menge'er and I, by relying on this jade rabbit blood, will soon be able to cultivate body of heavenly sage. Shui Shenxian nodded. It's a pity that the jade rabbit blood man can't use it, she'll turn into a woman. Chen Zhang's eyes lit up. He felt that the reason the Holy Spirit rabbit could reproduce was probably because of LV Kilian's alive slain method. As Shui Shenxian had mentioned earlier, it was because of the increase in blood from the Holy Spirit rabbit during this period. I wonder to what extent her mastery of the alive slain method has reached. Chen Shang yearned even more to be as powerful as LV Kilian. I need to go back and train with the sword. It won't be that easy to be the Sword Emperor. Mu Chenxiang was a little reluctant as he hugged and bid farewell to Shen Lingling and the others. Finally, he kissed Chen Shang on the cheek and left the Ice Dragon Villa. Soon after, Shui Shenxian also returned to the belly of the mountain and continued drawing the 7 dragons' swords with Lu Menger. In the evening, Chen Shang was at the top of the mountain with Dongfang Jing and Shen Lingling, watching the sunset. They had originally planned to look at the stars, but Long Huishan's shout came from below and told them to go down immediately. To make a long story short, I went out to investigate an important matter. I understood that the actions taken by the 5 heavenly regions were not only directed at the evil dragon graveyard S, but also at DTN and the entire 9 heaven world. Long Huishan said with a serious expression, the most recent major event was that the devil-killing summit S inside the night devil hell had turned black. That's why we think that the devil-killing summit that has been suppressing the night devil hell has already fallen. The night devil inside will soon take action and carry out a crazy massacre.